Hello and welcome to the Mass Media Tribe Meetup for November 30, 2021. It's so fantastic to have you here today, whether you're in the Zoom room or watching this live online right now. Welcome, welcome. We do have a hot topic for you today, and it's all about turning your social media into money. And we have the beautiful Chantal with us today. Welcome, Chantal, and some other amazing people who you will get to meet very shortly. Now, a little bit about Mass Media Tribe. What is this? Some people say we're at an AA meeting. Yes, it is an AA meeting of sorts. My name is Aldwyn Altuney, although it's not that kind of AA meeting. I have had some drinking problems in the past. I'm glad to say I'm over that stage now. I am much healthier than I used to be. My name is Aldwyn Altuney. As I said, I'm known as the Media Queen. I'm very passionate about helping to share more truth and good news in the world to help lift the energy on the planet and help to decrease depression and suicide rates. I've actually got 37 years media experience myself. I know I don't look a day over 25. Thank you very much. I actually started when I was 10. I'm 47 now. I was first interviewed by the Manly Daily in Sydney for table tennis, believe it or not. At 10 years of age, and then at age 11 I was on Cartoon Connection on Channel 7 in front of 2 million people, and then I had a radio show at 13, ended up doing a media degree, worked in TV, radio and print right across Australia, freelance for media overseas as well, and nowadays I have my own media business called AA Xposé Media on the Gold Coast, and I've worked with lots of speakers, authors, small business people from all over the world, and the strategies to get free publicity and get yourself out there is exactly the same no matter which media you are going to. Now, of course, we've got social media nowadays, and since 2004, Facebook started, and now out of the 7.8 billion people on the planet now, we have 3.8 billion active social media users. So about half the world's population now are active social media users, which means it's also very important to understand social media marketing, right? This is the mass media world we are living in, and it's so important to understand the topic that we are going to talk about today. And if you get a bit overwhelmed with social media, who's in that boat? Just show of hands. Who gets a little bit overwhelmed with all the yes? Thank you. Thank you, Angela, Sonia, Slava. Yep. Thank you. Exactly. Well, people do get overwhelmed because there is just so much online. In fact, there's 1,300 apps being created every month. I just heard today on BX, 1,300 apps. There's so much coming out all the time when it comes to social media and different online technology. And so please be gentle with yourself in this process. I would recommend, don't be too hard on yourself. And if you learn one thing new out of today and actually go and take action on that, then it's going to be worth your time being here today. So Mass Media Tribe is something that I started back in 2018. It actually started as a physical meetup event. Who's on Meetup here? Meetup.com is a great outlet. Yeah, fantastic. A few of you. Okay, great. Well, if you're not on Meetup, I suggest check it out. This was a physical meetup that started on the Gold Coast 2018. And then we did some events in Brisbane as well, right up until COVID. And COVID hit big time here in Australia around March 2020, and we took all our events online after that. So I was doing about 30 offline events before that. I was doing workshops in Melbourne, Sydney, Gold Coast, Brisbane, around the world on how to get free publicity. That was the main topic. And we took everything online. So Mass Media Tribe is something I started as a low-cost event to help people get their marketing message out to the masses. And we've had different guest speakers, some phenomenal speakers in that time. And last year in 2020, we had fortnightly meetings online. And this year it's been monthly events, and had the great fortune to just have some phenomenal people and phenomenal topics in that time. So with the physical events we used to do, they used to range in as an investment of up to $20 for the physical events, and now online they've been absolutely free. So it's been part of our give back to the community to help you step up with your message, because the fact is that your X factor is your story. Your X factor is your story. No one else has your story out there, right? You are 1 in a billion just by being born. You are incredibly powerful. And media want stories, right? And whether you're being interviewed on a podcast or in traditional media, they want stories, okay? And I'm sure Chantal will touch on this today as well with your social media as well. We want to hear about you. We want to know about you personally. People connect with people, right? People follow people. So we want to see the person who's behind the business or in front of the business. We want to know a bit more about you. And that's where we can really connect with you on social media. It's a very exciting platform, exciting times right now to really get your message out to the masses. So that's what Mass Media Tribe's about. We are on Meetup and we are on Facebook. We have a group in both places, so please connect there. And it is fantastic networking. Even, Meetup, some people close their Meetup accounts during COVID. However, a lot have also kept going with it and others have opened up Meetup. So you can actually use Meetup for online and offline events now. And it's great to connect with people with similar interests. So that's a little bit about me and about Mass Media Tribe. Now, today's event is we're going to hear from the others in the Zoom room right now. If you're watching this on Facebook or somewhere else, then please join us if you'd like to on the actual Zoom event. You can register on Eventbrite. Registrations are open for the next hour and a half or so you can come and join us in the Zoom room if you'd like to. We're going to go around and hear from everyone here today who are going to share where they're from, what they do, and what they want to get out of today, okay? Where you're from, what you do, and what you want to get out of today for those on the Zoom room. Then I'll share a short segment on how to get free publicity. And then we're going to hear from Chantal on turning social media into money, which is going to be awesome. And then we'll have a Q&A section at the end, and then we'll have some giveaways. Now, you need to be in the Zoom room to win some phenomenal prizes here today. So I look forward to that at the end. And for anyone who'd like to donate a prize at the end too, you're welcome to do that and to do a shout out for something that you may like to donate and give back, because the law of reciprocity, what you give comes back tenfold, right? You put out good energy and good vibes, it's going to come back tenfold with more opportunities and amazingness for you. If you put out bad vibes, it's going to come back negatively tenfold the other way. So it's very powerful when you understand these laws of the universe and law of reciprocity and attraction, etc. So thank you so much for joining us. So glad you could be here. Now, I can't wait to hear from everyone on the Zoom room here. So who would like to go first? Just a show of hands there and we'll just unmute you. Angela, over to you. Angela, just let us know where you're from, what you do, and what you want to get out of today. Thanks, Angela.
Sure. So I'm on the Sunshine Coast in Caloundra. So I've got a business called Transcend Healing, and currently we offer what's called spinal flow. So spinal flow is a relatively new healing modality created by an Australian chiropractor. It's very, very gentle. We don't pop or manipulate. We work with energy up the nervous system, and it helps relax your nervous system, and you can actually heal your body from physical, chemical, and emotional stress. It's very, very gentle, very beautiful, and people get transformation from that. So that's what I currently offer. In the future, we will be offering retreats, but we're not doing that right now. And so what I'm wanting to get out of today is I do have some social media pages. I've got Facebook, I've got Instagram, which I don't understand at all. I've got LinkedIn. I think that's all I have. And Facebook, I think I said that. And I post stuff, but I don't really know what I'm doing. So I'd really like to understand them more, how to use them better. And actually, I've got a Google business page as well. So yeah, that I really just want to understand how to utilize them better and make the most of them. I'm often at markets and I try to post stuff. So yeah, that's what I'd like to get out of today. Yep.
Wonderful. Thank you, Angela, from the Sunshine Coast. Which part are you in?
Caloundra.
Oh, Caloundra, beautiful, beautiful part of the world. We're very blessed here in Queensland, I must say. Awesome, Angela. Thank you for going first. Good on you. Excellent. And this really helps to, tailor content today to what you want. I'm sure this will be very useful for Chantal to know what you want to get out of today. So that's awesome. Okay, who wants to? She's taking notes. Good on you, Chantal. That's the spirit. Excellent, excellent. All right, who else would like to share? Who's next? Just pop your hand up or unmute yourself. Who'd like to go? Slava, over to you. Thank you.
Hi, I am a mind, body and eating coach, and I haven't been practicing ever since COVID hit. I sort of retreated into my little shell and went back to my original being personal trainer. but I really would like to start promoting myself more into this sphere, which is mainly helping women over 40 build and nourish relationship with food and their bodies, positive relationship with food and their bodies, and eventually would like to work mainly online. As it goes in this world, it's a sensible place to be. What I would like to achieve today, I'll be very honest, when I saw Chantal's name on a list, knowing that she was a personal trainer, I thought I'll somehow make the best use of few cancelled sessions I actually had this morning in a gym. So learning how to start promoting myself and moving forwards.
Wonderful, Slava. And where are you from?
Gold Coast.
Oh, which part?
I am in Broad Beach.
Broad Beach, just up the road. I'm in Southport. Beautiful, Slava. And where's that beautiful accent from?
Slovakia.
Oh, Slovakia. Nice. Slava from Slovakia. Well, that'll be easy to remember, won't it? So
very good. Yeah, that usually helps.
Yeah, wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much, Slava. That sounds amazing. And this whole emotional eating business, I tell you what, I've been doing a lot of that lately. So I'd love to know about how to stop emotional eating, Chantal.
I'll be very honest. This is a journey I am still on.
Right.
That's when COVID hit. There were lots of different reasons why I chose to take time off. And I started emotionally eat and drink as well. And I knew that. I knew completely. I understood what was happening. And I just, what was luckily enough, I gave myself permission to do that. So I wasn't beating myself up for it. And but that's over now.
Yeah, got it. And I guess,
so it's about much easier.
And it's about balance too, isn't it? Like, I love someone said, you can eat chocolate and drink wine and still lose weight, I guess everything in balance, right? You don't want to start.
Yeah, that's right. And that's the hardest thing. That is, after all those years of studying and practicing, it's forever practice. It's never, I now know. I just have to keep practicing. And there might be time where I don't practice, and then I have to remember, okay, back to it.
Yes, got it. And I love, I love doing yoga. Yoga is something I love. And one of my teachers recently said it's yoga practice, not yoga perfect. Right? So, I love that too. And I think that's the thing with life, is just get that, it is a journey. And sometimes, and I know as a high achiever myself, I can be really hard on myself. Does anyone else relate to that a little bit? Be really hard. Yeah, exactly.
I used to be. That is again a part. The learning curve is to let go of that.
Yes, exactly. And to notice it when it comes up, when you're being hard on yourself. And I know, with my team as well, I can, I have really high expectations also of others around me, So being gentle on self and others, I think, is really big. So awesome, Slava. Thank you so much. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
From up the road in Broad Beach. Okay, who have we got next? Who would like to share? Just pop your hand up or unmute yourself. Who'd like to share? Jennifer, over to you. Welcome.
Hi there. I'm coming to you from North Brisbane. I'm a book editor and writing coach, and I also write blogs. So my specialty is self-help books, psychology books, that sort of thing. But I've also edited many other styles of books, and I write how-to books. So I'd like to give away a little guide that I wrote for my clients, if that's allowed. What draws me here today is I met Aldwyn at a local meeting in Scarborough, and it was really interesting what she had to say. And I'm also on the trail of doing a media publicity plan at the moment. So that'd be good.
Awesome, Jennifer. Thank you. And thank you so much for that generous offer. So what is that? Can you pop that up and just let us know the title of that bit?
It's called the Niche Marketing and Book Guide. It's very light to post, so not too expensive, and it's 40 pages A4, and it just goes into all the different things that a really new author might like to know about, just a brief overview on all those things, and including, you know, determining your niche, which is the most crucial step.
Love it. Awesome. Thank you so much, Jennifer. That's very generous. So we'll give that away at the end for those who stay on to the Zoom. And, you know, sometimes these events go a little bit over time. We'll do our best to keep it to time, which is due to finish around 1 p.m. Queensland time and 2 p.m. for those in New South Wales or in Victoria. Beautiful, Jennifer. Welcome. Welcome from North Brisbane. Which suburb are you in there? In Scarborough, did you say?
I'm in Clontarf, near the sea still. Yeah,
near the sea. Beautiful part of the world as well. Awesome. Thank you, Jennifer. Okay, who's next? And welcome, Christina. Welcome. We're doing our round the room shares of where you're from, what you do, and what you want to get out of today. So who'd like to go next? Just pop your hand up. Noel, over to you. Welcome.
Well, thanks. Really appreciate it. It's wonderful being here this morning. I wasn't sure what I was in for before coming on, and yeah, struggled a bit to get my computer up and running with a bit of a storm outside over here. So I am from Little Kickers, North Brisbane franchise. I'm a franchisee, and I've been with them not for too long, just started recently. For me, my journey has been quite interesting. I've left financial planning and business consulting after 35 years of my life. So a long time to lead in another direction or go into another direction. And what got me to do that was the virus. Obviously, there was an impact on my business. And I think also trying to follow what I loved. I really did a psychometric evaluation on myself and realized I've been doing soccer coaching all my life for free and doing it for fun and really loved doing it. And just thought, why am I not doing what I'm really passionate about? So hence I joined All Kickers when we've got groups all over Queensland. So it's not just me, it's part of a major franchise. I operate mainly at the moment in Asprey and in North Lakes. That's where most of my groups are, but I'm busy expanding the business. And we coach, provide soccer coaching for 1 to 7-year-olds, but we're also more about imaginary-based play in a fun, pressure-free environment. So for us, it's letting children have a lot of fun with sports, but also helping them to develop. I found that quite interesting as to just going into soccer where it's just soccer coaching all the time. I really love what I'm doing, and for me it's also participating and helping people, young people who are looking for employment in the coaching space. So we provide that option for young children to become coaches in this space, and their background really has to be, I would say, more teaching or educational. They must love children. They must love being with children. And if they've got that, they could be a great soccer coach, or as I call it, an imaginary-based play coach as such. So that's what we do in a nutshell. Why am I here? Obviously to see if I can get some more input around publicity and get more exposure out there, and get some more marketing ideas. I'm using Facebook, LinkedIn, Google Ads, a couple of other things, just started. So just fresh in that space. But I think getting your name out this way with the media is far better than any other form of marketing. And organic marketing for me is the key to go that route. I'm looking at some of the fantastic people in that space. The last thing I think I'd like to say is, yeah, we are offering free trials for some of our groups at the moment. So people just need to go to our website, have a look there at www.littlekickers.com.au, and they can find out some information, and if there's a group in the area. That's us in a nutshell.
Thank you, Noel. Excellent. I think Chantal just popped something in South African there, I think, in the chat. Did she?
Yeah.
I have no idea what she just said. What was that?
Yeah, look, I've been here for 17 years and my accent has actually gotten stronger. My mom says to me, are you back in, used to say to me, my apologies, are you back in South Africa? How comes your accent stronger than when you left South Africa? And I said to her, well, what happened was I'm I joined a couple of South African networking groups, and the accent actually got stronger by joining the networking groups, which is quite hilarious.
Oh, funny.
Hier
funny.
gaan goed. She's asked me how it's going. It's going very well. Thank you. Thank you for that question.
Wow. That sounded almost Dutch, didn't it? It's real from the throat.
Yeah, Afrikaans is very deep down here. It's Afrikaans is a combination of Dutch and really some South Africans speak High Dutch Afrikaans, or High Dutch, should I say. But yeah, Afrikaans comes from the Dutch language here.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing, Noel. That is brilliant. And we do have a lot of South Africans I know here on the Gold Coast. And I was involved with Sabona magazine once upon a time. You may know Sabona. It's quite a big South African contingent here. And I know my brother and his whole family play soccer. They love it, or they call it football, of course. Football overseas, don't they? So they are huge soccer fans based down in Gosford, and one of the kids became quite good actually at soccer, and got to a great level. So yes, brilliant sport. Wonderful, Noel. Thank you, and welcome. So great to have you here. Okay, who'd like to go next? Doing our intros, who'd like to go? Just share where you're from, what you do, and what you want to get out of today. So just pop your hand up. Who hasn't shared so far? Sonia, over to you. Thank you. Welcome.
Hi, my name is Sonia Richardson from the Gold Coast. I'm an independent real estate agent, so I do sales and property management all over the Gold Coast. I'm located in Labrador, Churn Park. I love what I do, but I find the social media side of things a little bit overwhelming, and I need to make this easier so that I can concentrate on selling and leasing and property management. So yeah.
Thank you, Sonia. And isn't that industry just booming at the moment? Property is just going crazy here on the Gold Coast. What have you noticed there, Sonia, lately?
Yeah, look, the market has been going pretty nuts, and everybody's talking about, the market's going to crash, but it's not going to crash anytime soon. If anything, I'm seeing more surges in the market. But that being said, I am seeing the property management side of things start to slow down. So they're not tracking the same. So very interesting times ahead. And I think we'll continue to see growth in 2022. And I think it will start to slow down towards the end of next year and 2023.
That's also what I've heard, Sonia, but at the moment it's still hot, and I've heard of many real estate agents saying that things are selling well above auction reserve prices, right? Selling well above, like hundreds of thousands above, and crazy prices being reached here on the Gold Coast. So, and sometimes people buying, without even seeing, right? They're buying sight unseen from interstate, etc. at the moment. So
That's right. I mean, I'm analysing the market all the time. So not all properties are going for well over market, just to put it out there.
Okay.
Some properties are going for less than what they are on the market for. So not all is lost.
And what sort of properties aren't selling as well?
Probably the lower range. To the mid-range, they're kind of sitting for a little bit. The higher market seems to be going gangbusters, but yeah, some of those mid-range and lower range properties tend to be sitting and in some cases going for less than what they're actually on the market for. So and that's just me seeing, because I'm always doing appraisals for people, so I'm looking at other properties and what they were listed for and sold for, and that's something that I've just started to notice in the last 4 to 6 weeks. So that's interesting.
Thank you for that, Sonia. And I'm very interested in this right now, because I've got a property going to auction tomorrow, as it turns out. So I can't wait to see what happens there. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Thank you so much. Thank you, Sonia, all the way from Labrador, you said, just up the road. Yep. Just 10 minutes the other way. Fantastic. Welcome. All right. Who hasn't shared so far? Who'd like to share? Just pop your hand up. Lorna, I could see you with your hand up. Welcome, Lorna, one of our Mass Media Mastery members.
Well, I'm Lorna, and I'm from Brisbane. Oh, Lorna Buckland, I better tell my name. And I'm from Brisbane, And I'm an NLP trainer, and because of this lovely COVID, we haven't been able to do it, and I generally train international, so I've been stopped at home for a while and getting used to this Zoom and putting stuff online, and I'm starting up again live training, so I'm doing one in 2 weeks. Aldwyn got me on to, I do a 2-day personal development workshop, and she's called me the Destiny Designer. So I'm going to be recording that, Aldwyn. You'll be very happy. And
excellent.
Then they'll be using some of that for videos and things like that. So I'm going to do a key to designing your destiny, 2 days as a destiny designer. And then getting my live trainings back on track in the new year. So I'm focusing at the moment putting things online. And this social media, what I'd like to get out of today is more understanding, because like some of you, I'm just so overwhelmed by it all, and used to being in live training and all this online. It's not just learning Zoom, it's like Facebook and Instagram, and I'm like someone else. Instagram and Twitter and that go, oh, so like I'm learning and I'm getting there, and I'm not sure how long it'll take, but I'm learning many new things and making mistakes along the way. So I'm hoping to get a lot out of today to make it a little bit more clearer. And as we said before, it's all about practice, practice, practice. And I'll probably never be perfect. I'll always be practicing. But I love my NLP and the skills it gives you and personal development. And I'm seeing in the world today, with a lot of people in their 40s and 50s, I've had 3 incidents in the last 2 weeks where people are so angry and they're blaming their mother for everything. And it's like, no, it's not your mum's fault. You've got to learn how to connect to yourself. And so my 2 days for them, and that is connecting to yourself, understanding how you're processing things, and take charge of your life again. Don't keep blaming everyone. You know, you're in charge of your decisions now. So that's where my passion is at the moment. I'm seeing a lot of angry people in teenagers and in 40 to 50-year-old women. And it's like, what are they doing? And so they're blaming mum for something she did when they were 5 or 6. And it's like, get over it. So I've had my challenges in life. It's 40 years now, I'm celebrating, since I was given 3 months to live. And I'm still here, and in 2 weeks I turn 70. So I just thank God that I've learnt what I've learnt, and I don't allow what happened to me when I was young control my life now. So that's my passion, and it's just good to be here, because generally Aldwyn has these at a time I can't come. So today suited me. So it was really good. So nice to see everyone, and I'm looking forward to getting something out of it.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Lorna from Brisbane. Now, I don't know if you all caught what she just said there. 40 years ago, she was given 3 months to live, right? Extraordinary. So don't believe what the doctors tell you, okay? Because they often get it wrong. In fact, there's hundreds of thousands of cases every year where doctors get things wrong.
And learn how this works.
Yes.
This is your number one key. Where are you focused? Where's the mindset? What are you saying to yourself? Prove it every day.
Yes, exactly. Love that, Lorna. You're amazing. The Destiny Designer. And, you know, brand names are really important, particularly, you know, if you have an unusual name, like Aldwyn Altuney is an unusual name, Media Queen is very easy to remember, right? Lorna Buckland, people may say that in other ways too. So Destiny Designer is a nice catchy name. So you might like to think for yourself, you know, putting yourself out there as a speaker or as an expert in the media in some way. It does help to have a catchy name. Like you think of the Renault Kings, right? The Renault Kings is a really catchy sort of name, right? We've got Wizard of Words. We've got now Quantum Queen. There's so many catchy titles out there. So have a think for yourself. If you don't have a strong brand name, 2 or 3 words, something catchy, then start to consider that, I would suggest, for your marketing. It definitely does make a difference as far as being memorable and standing out online. And I do recommend once you own and claim your brand. Now, I've actually trademarked mine. I paid thousands of dollars to trademark Media Queen. I trademarked Mass Media Mastery as well, my program name. So you might want to look at trademarking as well, your brand name. And then once you do that and you own it and claim it, then mention it everywhere, because, you know, you mentioning it will make it memorable for people as well. So welcome, Lorna, the Destiny designer. I love that for you.
Getting used to it.
Yes, and that's the thing is, you know, finding something you're comfortable with and really, you know, living into that as well, and have some fun with it. You know, have some fun. Like my Media Queen, you can see my Media Queen cartoon up in the corner there, right? Now, I've had people say to me with that cartoon, some people said that is a really ugly cartoon. They don't like it at all, right? And in fact, I went to LA a few years ago and I had 2 film producer friends that said, we're going to get you a proper cartoon. We're going to take you to Disneyland and get you a proper Media Queen cartoon. So they took me there. We went to one of the caricature artists there and they did this Media Queen image that looked like a princess. Now, look, it was a lovely image. However, it wasn't what I wanted to portray with the cartoon. And this is something to consider too with your marketing, right? If you're going to have something representing what you do, what do you want to represent with that, right? So with the Media Queen, like for me, it was about celebrating my uniqueness. Okay, so my big hair and my big smile I'm known for. Okay, my nose isn't that big. Okay, so you've got to have fun with yourself too, right? Have fun. Don't take yourself too seriously, right? Because the fact is with the media now, they want to not just educate, they want to entertain as well. Now, Media Queen also represents putting the crown on your head. You don't need to be born into royalty to actually put yourself out there, right? So it also represents that. It represents having fun, and it represents stepping up with your message, right? So putting yourself out there. So that's all the things it represents. And so interestingly, a few years ago when I went to Disneyland and had this cartoon and I was really tossing up, I thought, well, maybe I should listen to my film producer friends here and maybe I will change my cartoon. And so I put the princess one and I put the Media Queen, as you can see there, I put that one up there. And I said on my social media, which is one big thing with social media, is getting engagement, right? As I'm sure Chantal will probably talk about today, is having engagement and seeing what people think. So I said, well, what do you think? This one or this one? And I had hundreds of comments come in, and some people said really like the princess one. Some people said they really like the other one. And at the end of the day, I thought, look, at the end of the day, I'm going to go with what I'm happy with, having considered all the other suggestions, because everyone's going to have their 2 bobs worth to say, right? Everyone's going to have their idea on what they think is a good brand for you, right? So I appreciated their suggestions and I stuck with what I liked myself. So, you know, something to think about, you know, when you put yourself out there in any way, you're always going to have people that are going to love what you do and you're going to have people that hate what you do. And the more you step up with your message, the more you're going to find more people love it and more people hate it. Right? It's just how it goes. So I suggest learn to be okay with that. Fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing, everyone there who has shared. Anyone else want to share anything before we come over to my presentation? Then we're going to hear from Chantal. Any other words? Anyone want to share anything at this stage? No? Okay, excellent. Well, I will share my screen. And welcome to those joining us on Facebook. I can see we've got Linda there. Hello, Linda. And a few others have joined us. So pop into the comments. What do you want to get out of today for those joining us online? What do you want to get out of today? We'll be checking those Facebook comments as well in the Mass Media Tribe group. All right, so sharing my screen now. Here we go. Can everybody see this? Can you all see my screen? Just wave or say yes. Okay, beautiful. All right, fantastic. Okay, so I'm going to do a short presentation now, how to gain free positive publicity. And then we will be hearing from Chantal Girardi, our special guest today, on turning social media into money. Okay, so look forward to that. All right, so we just mentioned the Media Queen branding. There it is, nice and big for you. It is a bit in your face, but hey, that's about, you know, putting yourself out there, standing out in the world of the mass media, which of course we have traditional media and we have the online media now. And out of the 7.8 billion people on the planet, 3.8 billion active social media users now. And what's happening now with traditional media outlets and journalists, they are looking to social media all the time for story ideas. Okay, so getting this right with the social media and also with what you do with traditional media and how you pitch to them is really crucial if you want to build an organic following and not waste thousands and thousands of dollars on advertising. Now, there are some people that are doing advertising and getting great results, but generally I find about 1 in 4 people I speak to, sometimes less, are actually getting great results from their advertising dollars. So getting free publicity is a great way that you don't spend any money on publicity and you actually get yourself out there and build your influence and leverage. And the fact is, with traditional media, where you have got you've got journalists writing about you, it's actually worth 3 to 8 times more in value than what you're paying for ads. So if you think about a half-page ad in a magazine, it's generally worth about $2,000. So if you have a half-page story where a journalist is writing about you, it's worth 3 to 8 times more than that. There's many online sources that say this, and you can have a look for yourself. And if you think about how you consume media too, you generally switch off when the ads come on and you pay attention when you see the stories, right? So 3 to 8 times more than $2,000 for a half-page ad, that's $6,000 to say $16,000. Let's just times it by 5 to keep the figures round. So about $10,000 worth of value if you have a half-page story by a journalist in a magazine. That's just one example, okay? People spending tens of hundreds of thousands of dollars in radio advertising, TV advertising, whether it's online or offline. People spending thousands in digital advertising as well, Facebook ads, Instagram ads, YouTube, etc. And, you know, there are experts in this field. That's definitely not my expertise in advertising. And as I say, some people might be getting great results, but many I know are not. And this is a way that you can actually get yourself out there without paying for the ads. All right, how to gain free positive publicity. Now, there's a journey that people go on when they want to put themselves out there and be seen, heard, and known. Now, the fact is we are not taught growing up to step up and speak up with our message. We're not taught about that at all. In fact, we're taught to actually be seen and not heard. That's how most of us are taught, right? Be seen and not heard. And so it takes something if you're going to put yourself out there. Now, we start out here as the world's best kept secret. Now, I've had the great fortune as a journalist for over 20 years and having worked in the media, in TV, radio and print, I have had the great fortune to interview people like Hugh Jackman, Cyndi Lauper, Debbie Harry from Blondie, Russell Crowe. Now, all these people, once upon a time, were the world's best kept secret. Okay, just like you might be feeling right now. And that's okay, because 50% of anything you do is just starting. Right? And just being here today, you've made a start. You're learning today. And then from making a start, learning about how to get publicity or get yourself out in social media, you make a start and then you take some action on that and you get a few runs on the board. You get some steady progress happening. You might start to get approached by some media from your social media, or you might start to get in your local paper or local radio, etc., which is the easiest media you will get is your local media. So if you haven't had any publicity so far in any traditional media, I recommend just start with your local newspapers and your local radio stations to start with. You get a few runs on the board. And in fact, when I was working at the Gold Coast Sun as a journalist and other papers that I worked on over time, we would get approached with our local paper. If we had some good stories that interested national media, major national media, they would often call us up. We'd get calls from TV crews, etc., saying, can we get the contact for that person that you interviewed for that story? Because we want to now interview that person as well. Right? So never underestimate the power of your local media. You're going out to hundreds of thousands of people just getting local media. Next thing, you're shooting for the stars, or the media magnetized to you from your local media. And next thing, you're getting some major spots on some major national outlets, maybe some huge podcasts. You're shooting for the stars. And next thing you know, you've got major hits on the board. And next thing you know, you are a star. And that's the rocket ship journey there from secret to star, which is what I help my clients with, is going from secret to star. Now, there's certain keys to success in putting yourself out there and mastering the media. One is passion. What are you passionate about? Now, whenever you step into your passion, you are elevating your vibration. Now, I've been doing a lot of work with the quantum field lately, right? Now, we are actually scientifically proven 99.9% energy and vibration, right? And when we get into love, when we're feeling love as a vibration, we are vibrating at 520 megahertz is where our body is vibrating at, right? If you actually, get a microscope and look into the beyond the skin and behind the molecules and the atoms, etc., we are all just vibrating energy, right? And this is actually Dr. Hawkins' scale of consciousness. If you want to look that up, this is actually it here. I want to point this out to you. Dr. Hawkins' scale of consciousness. This is scientifically proven. When you lift your vibration to love and above, which is up here, so love is at 528 hertz, joy and gratitude are at 540 hertz. When you get into peace, you're at 600 hertz, enlightenment is 700 and above. Now, whenever you're in angry states, sad, depressed, shame and guilt are actually two of the lowest vibrations you'll ever feel, right down here. When you're vibrating in these stages here, you're not going to attract opportunities to yourself, whether media opportunities, business opportunities, etc. In fact, you'll be repelling people down here. Now, the world right now, due to COVID and other stresses, the world is vibrating between 75 to 100 megahertz right now. So why is passion so important? Because you are up here in joy. You are in joy. You are happy when you are living your passions. And the fact is, 1/3 of people die by the age of 65. 1/3 of all the world's population dead by 65. And that goes around pretty damn quickly, right? We think we have lots of time to do things, but actually there's no time like the present. So passion is so important. What are you passionate about? And, there's a great video on YouTube by Bob Proctor. Now, Bob Proctor is 86 years of age, loves what he does. He's one of the legends in personal development. And someone asked him, how do you find your purpose? Which is the next point here. How you find your purpose is, he said, you do what you love as much as possible every single day. Do what you love as much as possible, right? So what is it for you? Notice in your life, what is it that gives you joy? If money wasn't an issue, if it wasn't about the money, what would you do with your life? There's plenty of ways you can monetize your passion. Okay, people have done it again and again, right? It's all a matter of mindset or mind shift, right, to actually realize that. So purpose is really important, getting clear on what is your purpose. And that comes with your marketing message, with going out to traditional media or online media. What is the purpose of what you're putting out there? And then how you package that up is really important. Now, with traditional media, a lot of journalists will be asking you, in fact, most of them will say, do you have a press release? Now, you can get media coverage without a press release, but you increase the chances of a journalist getting the facts wrong. They are incredibly busy people. There's about a 5-year burnout with journalists. And so the easier you make their job, the more they're going to love you. So I recommend with the package that you have a press release, you have some good visuals, and you have a good pitch. And you have about 45 seconds to get your pitch across to journalists. You do not want to be burning bridges when you go out to journalists, okay? You burn bridges, then you lose those contacts and you may never regain them again. So package is important. Your profile. What happens when people Google you? Are you Googleicious? Are you Googleicious? When people Google you, what happens? Or if they're DuckDuckGoing you, right? DuckDuckGo is a search engine where you'll see some different information to what you see in Google, because there's a lot of censorship now of information happening with fact checkers, etc., on Facebook and YouTube. So there's all sorts of alternative media now coming out. So what happens when people Google you? What are they finding? If you wanted to work with someone in your industry, would you work with yourself from what you find on Google? Is there consistent messaging? If you have a brand name, is your brand name out on your social media, on your websites, etc.? Is that consistent? And journalists will Google you. They're going to Google you. And now video marketing is really powerful. If a journalist sees that you have some good video footage, you come across well on camera, then that will definitely help to get TV spots, although you need a really good angle, which we'll talk about in the next slide after this one. People, everything is done with relationships. There could be one person here, one contact that could help take your life and your business exponential. Could be one media contact. Now, what happened with Robert Kiyosaki, the author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, when he appeared on Oprah, it was the 27th of April, 2000, 3 years after he wrote Rich Dad, Poor Dad. He appeared on Oprah, and after the 1-hour show, Oprah turned to him and said, "Congratulations, Rich Dad. We've just sold you 1 million books." Now, at the time, he was making $5 US per book. So that's $5 million he just made at the end of a 1-hour show. Now, of course, that's Oprah, that's major media. However, the fact is, just getting into your local media, you're reaching hundreds of thousands of people. And you don't need necessarily hundreds of thousands of new clients, right? You just need a few good clients generally, depending what you're selling, of course, or what you're promoting, what service you're in. And it could just be one person that sees that story that could take things exponential. A filmmaker, a friend of mine, he had a story in the Gold Coast Bulletin a few years ago. Positive story. The headline was "Soap Star Awash with Enthusiasm for Coast Crime Drama Dream." And after this half-page story came out in the Gold Coast Bulletin, what happened there is that within 1 to 2 days, he was offered $200,000 in funding for his film project from someone who saw the story in the local paper. So people is really crucial, building relationships always. There's a process to getting publicity, which I'll cover shortly, and then propelling that publicity. Once you get that publicity, how to make the most of that in social media and in other media as well is really crucial. So I have an awesome media magic formula, and this is my wand here, my magic wand. Here's my wand right here. I'm going to zoom this out to you and put some beautiful white light and healing energy over you right now with this wand. And this is to show that anything is possible. So my awesome formula starts with the A here. The A of the awesome is about articulating your story. So get really clear on what is it that you want to promote to the media. Is it a product? Is it a service? Is it a message? Is it a charity that you want to support? What is it that you want to promote? And then what is your story behind that? What is your story behind that? So for me, for example, I'm passionate about inspiring more truth and good news in the world. Why? Because I've had depression and I've had 4 friends take their own lives by the age of 45. Right? That's why, because it's very close to my heart. And in fact, the stats are worldwide, 1 million people a year worldwide take their own lives normally, right? With COVID, I've heard that it's gone up 4 times that amount since COVID. Right? Which is insane. So this is something very close to my heart. So certain things I've done about that is I created a good news day on the 8th of the 8th, 18, after my 4th friend took their own life. I created a good news day. And now through COVID, I've created the Global Good News Challenge, which is a monthly Facebook Live challenge where people can share gratitude and good news. And that, as we've seen in Dr. Hawkins' scale of consciousness, when you get into gratitude and joy, you're up here vibrating at 540 hertz. Okay, when you do the Global Good News Challenge, you are vibrating high up here. Okay, simple Facebook Live challenge, and just share gratitude and good news, lift your vibration. It's so, so powerful. So simple and so powerful. There's something you can get involved in for free, which I'll show you that shortly. So what is the story? What is it that you want to promote? I also set up animal action events in 2007. I started the world's first Animal Action Day. It was all about awareness, appreciation, and respect for animals. Why? Because I've seen animal cruelty year after year and wanted to do something about it. I thought if I can just encourage one person to do something for animals, then it's worth doing this event. And every year we donated to different charities, etc., had millions of dollars of free publicity for the different charities with the different events that we did. You don't have to go out necessarily and create your own event. How can you maybe align with a charity or a cause with what you do and help give back in some way? This is what we call soulpreneurs nowadays, right? Soulpreneurs actually making a difference to the world around them. Now, the W of the awesome steps is to work angles. The journalists work with different angles, okay? Now, right now, we've got Christmas coming up, so there's all sorts of Christmas stories out in the media, right? And next, it's going to be, the start of the new year, New Year's resolution, those sort of things, right? Then we have Valentine's Day. Then we have International Women's Day. There's all these different times of the year. There's Mother's Day, Father's Day, Anzac Day, Australia Day. So many different times of year where you can create an angle. And with the animal action events we generally did them in line with World Animal Week, which is the 4th to the 10th of October. So what can you work an angle around? That's just one. I've got 9 different angles that I cover in my free publicity secrets masterclass. We don't have time to go into all those right now, but that's just one angle that you can have is piggyback media angle is actually piggybacking off what's in the media now. So even with COVID, there's a lot of media looking for angles around COVID right now and what you're doing around that. The E is about elevating your profile, packaging up what you do with the press release, the visuals, and the pitch that's there, and then startling the media. Now, Richard Branson, the founder of Virgin, he is known as the PR stunt king. Now, one thing he did to startle the media was to dress in a wedding dress to launch the Virgin Brides venture. He dressed in a spacesuit to launch Virgin Galactic. So what are you willing to do to be creative, to be fun, entertaining with what you put out to the media? because they want to entertain, not just educate, right? Owning your power is really crucial. And this is about doing the inner work. Now, Lorna can help with this. She's a master NLP practitioner with this. And I know others out there also. It's very important to do the inner work, to build that confidence, to be able to put yourself out there. And letting go of any resentment or anger that you have to others, right? Learn to let that go, because if you hold on to that, not only will you create dis-ease in your body, you will also be putting out some really negative vibes and have a pretty crap experience of life, right? So if we just want to be happy, right, then it's about owning your power. And I've done a lot of work on myself, and I continue to do work on myself. I continue to invest in mentors, and it's been an amazing ride. And I think it's so important to do that, to own your power, to realize that you are amazing, to realize that your X factor is your story. You are 1 in a billion just by being born. You beat about 1 billion swimmers to get to the finish line, right? So you are incredibly powerful, and often we don't give ourselves that kind of credit to step up, because we're not taught to step up. So owning your power is really crucial if you want to master interviews. That's the M of the awesome steps, is mastering interviews. There's certain things to do before, during, and after interviews to get the most out of those. With your interviews, think about 3 main points you want to get across. That's my biggest tip for you around that one. 3 main points you want to get across, because with TV and radio, you've only got 3 to 5 minutes to get your message across. They'll just use one grab, right? One little grab. Generally with news, it's even less, right? News is about 30 seconds to a minute with news shows for TV. So, you need to be succinct with your messaging. And also with social media, I think this is important too, to be succinct with your messaging, because you've only got so many words you can share your message, Twitter particularly, and some others, little images. If you want to put words in images into social media, then also you need to be succinct. And then E is about exploding your impact. Once you have that publicity, you can say again and again, you've appeared in that media, and many different ways you can explode impact and make the most of the coverage that you get to tell the world about it. So there's the awesome steps to publicity. Now, the benefits that will come for you when you do that is you will build your fame. You might not want to be famous like the superstars I mentioned. However, you will be known as an expert in your field. And what happens when you're an expert in your field and people come to you for your expertise is that you will have more money. You can charge more for what you do. You'll be able to leverage what you do, which will give you more freedom, and you will leave a legacy. And that's the thing with media. Every single spot you get, you are leaving a legacy. These 4 friends of mine that took their own life, we had no video of them out there anywhere. There was a few photos to remember them by, but no video. So every time you get on a video podcast, for example, or you get on TV or radio or put audios out there, it's very, very powerful ways to leave legacy, and stories as well. Stories are great for newspapers, magazines as well. It's all leaving a legacy. And as they say, if a photo is worth 1,000 words, a video is worth 1,000,000 words. So video marketing is so powerful. I know with social media, it's getting a lot more engagement than other forms such as photos or just text, right? Now, I do have a free Publicity Secrets Masterclass, which I go into a lot more detail with this. And this is an awesome event. There's heaps of content. You will walk away just knowing all the ins and outs of how to get publicity. And I've got one of those coming up. freeprSecrets.com is the link. Or if you go to my link tree, it's got all my links there. So I'll share that shortly. Or freeprSecrets.com. It is a brilliant 4-hour event, and I give insider secrets from my 30 plus years in the industry. And journalists can tell when you know what you're doing when you're pitching to them, and you don't want to be wasting their time because, as I said, they're very, very busy people. They're under a lot of stress. So you want to make sure that you have your ducks in a row, so to speak, that you know what you're doing when you're pitching to them. And if you do that and build relationships, they will love you and they will come back to you looking for more comment, as I've done with many of my clients. They come back looking for comment when they're looking for an expert in your industry in future. So here it is. The next one's December 6th coming up. It's on a Monday from 1 till 5 p.m. Queensland time. That will be 2 till 6 p.m. if you're in New South Wales, Victoria. And it is on Zoom. So there it is there. It's $97, or if you want to purchase the recording and slides, it's $144. Okay, so there's the options there, freeprSecrets.com. I've had people attend this workshop and go straight out and get publicity. I don't hold back on the content. You will learn a lot and you'll be inspired to move forward and actually take action on this if you're not already. So there it is there, freeprSecrets.com. freeprssecrets.com is the link. And we also have the Global Good News Challenge I mentioned. Now, this starts on the first Monday of every month, and it goes for as long as whatever number month it is. So December being the 12th month, we have a 12-day challenge for December coming up, starting on the 6th of December on the Monday. And it's just a very simple Facebook Live. Just share your name, what you do, 3 things you're grateful for, and a piece of good news. Make sure you hashtag Global Good News Challenge, and then we will share that into our Loving Life group. We'll share it on the Global Good News Challenge Facebook page, and we will also add you to a private group called Global Good News Challenge, so you can hang out with other good news crusaders and keep the vibe high there. And the details on that are pinned to the top of the Global Good News Challenge Facebook page, okay, all pinned to the top in the announcement section. You can read all of that. So definitely make sure you hashtag Global Good News Challenge so that we can find it and we will share it for you. So that's some free promotion that you can do. You will feel amazing when you share gratitude verbally, and your good news could be something about you, something you've been up to or something a friend's been up to. News stands for something new that we don't already know. Okay, so let us know what you're up to. It could be a successful client, it could be a new event you're launching, it could be something you see online. And there's plenty of good news outlets out there. There's Good News Network, Sunny Skies News, there's news.com.au has a good news section. There's lots of places you can find good news online as well. I also have a social media masterclass specifically focusing on how you can use social media to get traditional media coverage. Okay, so this is a new event. A lot of my clients were asking me about this. So I share what I know. I definitely don't know it all when it comes to social media. And we have experts such as Chantal coming, who's been doing this for a long time as well. And this is something where I cover a little bit on a lot of different social media outlets where you can actually use these depending on your target market, etc., to get an understanding on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, Pinterest, and YouTube are my main focuses with this masterclass, and showing how you can use it to get publicity. So that's coming up online December 4, and the details are in my linktree /Aldwyn, and that is, I'll show you in a second, there'll be a link for that. And also for those who want to work more closely with me, if you're interested and you're really serious about getting yourself out there and want some more support, then I recommend check out my Mass Media Mastery program. Happy to have a discussion to see if this is something that would be right for you right now, or whether we would be a fit working together. So reach out and just send me a private message on Facebook if you'd like to chat about that. Here's the Linktree link I mentioned. It's got all those links there and many others. Love to stay connected with you on social media. There's so many different social media outlets there. You might not want to be on all of them. However, it's good to have a general understanding on the main ones. The world is your oyster, my friends, and anything is possible for you. And I'd really like you to get this because, you know, one of my favorite movies is The Power of One. And very, very powerful. We had South African conversation here before, very powerful, and you are incredibly powerful. So this is about shining bright. I believe in the power of one, and I believe in you. May your flame burn bright and light up all those around you. And that's what happens when you put yourself out there. You will light up those around you, your family, your friends, your community. Very, very powerful when you put yourself out there. And that's the end of my presentation. I'm going to hear from Chantal shortly. Before we do, just like to know, what are some of your ahas from that? What did you get from that? Who'd like to share? Just pop your hand up. Let's see how well you were listening to that. But just pop your hand up and just share. What did you get from something you got? Just share. Who'd like to share? Yes, Slava, over to you.
So really love the positivity and how you are passing forward the importance of our vibrations, that they will show up. Your vibrations will show up how you show to the world, and people are attracted to that.
Yes.
It comes across so it's so obvious that you love what you do.
Yes.
You don't have to say it, we can see it.
Yes, well, that's true. And you can feel it, right? Because that's the thing with vibration and energy. You can feel it. You know, like sometimes some people come into a room and you're like, oh, I don't like their energy. Or some people are like, yeah, I really like their energy. You know, so it's just getting conscious to where we're often unconscious is and noticing your own energy. And the thing is, you're not always going to be up here. Like there's going to be times you're going to sink down. Like I still have moments when I have really dark moments. You know, I've had depression over the years. However, nowadays I'm able to come through those dark moments a lot quicker, thanks to all the personal development work that I've done. I'm able to come through a lot quicker through those down moments and get back up on my feet again, you know? So that's the thing, is also be gentle with yourself in this process, because it's not natural to be all up here either. So it's just getting conscious to, okay, where am I vibrating at today? And maybe, do I need some more time out for me? Do I need to meditate, or do I need to go to the beach, or do I need to do yoga? And there's some ways that I've, you know, rejuvenated myself when I've had low moments. So yeah, thank you for sharing that, Slav. It's so important. And when you get into this quantum field and you really get this, it's amazing the results that can happen. It's phenomenal. So yeah, thank you, Slava. Awesome. Who else would like to share? Lorna, did you have your hand up there? I saw you waving. No, you didn't. Okay. Anyone else like to share? What'd you get out of that? Any ahas? Just pop your hand up. Don't be shy here. It's a friendly room. Oh, Lorna, over to you. Okay, thanks.
Well, every time I see this, I kind of get something different out of it again. And it's a work in progress, and it's sticking with it until it works for you. That's basically what I'm doing. And I think that's a good message, is you don't have to have it all now.
Yes.
And doing one step at a time. And I feel I've come a few steps, but there's a lot more to go. So,
yes.
You know, and the hardest part for me is getting myself out there. I'm all right in front of crowds or anything, but on this social media and that, it's challenging me.
Yeah, got it. Yeah, and that's the thing, you know, everything is hard at first until it becomes easy, right? Yep. so yeah, so it's the thing is to stay on that roller coaster ride of life. There's going to be times you're here, times you're going round and round, times you're going backwards, or you're going to feel like it, right? But just stay on that journey. Just stay strapped in with that, put that seatbelt on that roller coaster, and just stay strapped in and stay on the journey. And as I say, even if you get one thing out of today that you go and instigate, then it'll be worth your time today. But the main thing is take action, right? Some people become forever learners and don't take action. So please take action on what you learned today. Beautiful. Thank you so much, Lorna. One more share before we go over to Chantal's presentation. One more share. Who else would like to share something you got out of that? Just pop your hand up, unmute. You'd like to share. You're all deep in thought. Anyone else? Going once? No? Okay. Yes, maybe. Okay. All right. Well, pop in the chat if you'd like what you got out of it. Pop in the chat so we can all learn from that. Or if you're watching this online, pop in the chat something you got from this. That'd be wonderful. All right. Now it gives me great pleasure to introduce our guest speaker here at Mass Media Tribe today. We have Chantal Girardi in the Zoom room. Now, she was voted top 100 coolest companies in Australia 2018 for her company. She received 2 international Business Awards for out-of-the-box marketing for startups. She's a finalist of the Telstra Business Awards and has been featured on Channel 9 News. She's passionate about helping business owners gain Facebook skills to succeed in their business. So welcome, Chantal. Please help me welcome her. Big round of applause. Over to you, Chantal. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me today. And I talk really quickly, really quickly. And it's jam-packed. I've got so much I'd love to share with you today. I'm very conscious that I don't want to overwhelm you, but I want to be able to acknowledge and identify and help you with a lot of the things that have come up. And that's why I think I've got like three pieces of paper now. So I'm very, very passionate about being able to deliver on what it is that you're struggling with right now. So I will share my screen. There we go. Yep. So turning your social media into money. Now, this one was a real biggie for me, and I will go a little bit into my story because your story is super important, like Aldwyn said. But firstly, I just want to identify who this is for, okay? So predominantly I work with business owners who are managing their own social media to get clients, create opportunities and grow their business without spending their lives online or wasting money, okay? And that's the South African in me. We don't like to waste money and we like things fast and free. So why is what I do different to everyone else? Well,
the thing is that I've actually been there and I've done that, and I'm more interested in making money than making friends. So a lot of people are very much concerned about engagement and followers and, you know, all these other things. And for me, at the end of the day, it comes down to being able to make a profit from this so that I can be a profitable business owner. There are better things to do than live online. Okay, put up your hand. Yep, that's me. I go away almost every 6 weeks. I go away on holiday, and that's part of what I do. So it's important for me that having a balanced life and having my balanced business around my family is really important. What I learned along the way is that there's a hard way and then there's a smart and an easy way to do things. Okay, and the good thing is that you don't have to do everything. All right, I heard so many people today talking about all these platforms and all the stuff. You don't have to do everything. You only need to do what's right for you and the customer. Okay, and leave the rest of the BS behind. In fact, one of my mission statements is the only BS that you need in your business is a business strategy. My promise is that I'm actually going to show you the exact strategies that I personally use and teach my clients. So a lot of people have got general, they've got cookie cutter, they've got fluffy. I teach you everything that I've learned and actually practice myself. And you don't have to take my word for it. If you go online, you'll be able to find there's thousands and thousands of posts out there of people earning anything from $1,000 to $5,000, getting unpaid opportunities in marketing on Channel 9. Not that that's ever our objective, but it automatically happens when you know how to use social media correctly. That what I do and what I teach actually results in income-producing results, income-producing leads and clients. And for all of you that do watch this today, if you like my page, leave a review about how you found today's webinar. And then send me a private message. I will send you these two awesome things. The one is a 14-day Facebook content program, and the other one is a social media management results-focused checklist, which is the exact checklist that I give to all my clients on how to manage their social media. So to get that, all I'd appreciate you do if you could like, review, and then just private message my page, which is Chantal Girardi Online Business Strategy. So here's a reality check. All right, Aldwyn already mentioned the roller coaster ride of business. And one of the biggest things that I learned is that as soon as you get used to the up and the downs, the more fun it'll get. So just accept it. Okay, don't fight it. Don't fight the seasons. It's going to go up. It's going to go down. It's going to be shitty sometimes. It's going to be fun sometimes. At the end of the day, it's going to be challenging, but just accept that. Once you accept that, you can now move on. Oh, well, here's another shitty time. Cool. Let's move on. Let's get over it. Let's move to the next thing. So here's a couple of challenges that most of the people I work with have. And put in the chat box if you're like challenge 1, 2, 3, 4, which one of these are you? Maybe it's all of them. But number one is you don't know what to write, when or how. Okay, is that you? Number 2 is when you do, it's crickets. Number 3 is you want sales, but there's no inquiries. And the last one is you're wasting time and money getting overwhelmed and frustrated. So if that's you, 1, 2, 3, or 4, put in the chat box. I'd love to know which, if maybe you have none of these challenges, maybe you've got all of them. For me, last week, I spoke to 2 people, a gentleman and a lady. The one had spent $40,000, $20,000, which she borrowed from her mom and dad, actually a personal training business, had spent and got absolutely nothing from. I spoke to a guy in solar last week. He had spent $50,000 and got absolutely nothing except extremely overwhelmed and frustrated. So here's your future, and your future may not be the same as mine, so just lean into it. But what does yours look like? For me, it's about being able to wake up in the morning, to be able to walk my dog, go to the beach, have a coffee with my partner, you know, ease into the day, do some of the chores and stuff, then kind of check some emails, have all my clients booked in, all my systems and processes managed. You know, I spend my 20 minutes a day on social media. Clients just come in, they're all the right people, I'm making money, I can take holidays, and I'm living happily ever after. But you know, what is your business vision for you? So here's the opportunity that you actually have in front of you. Once you know what to do, you'll actually have no money and time. I always say to people, if you don't have money and time, you need me more than anything, or someone like me, to help you get more money and time. Because if you don't know what you don't know until you do know, and then you can make more money and save a lot more time. Opportunity number 2 is you wake up every day confident knowing what to do to get a result. So for example, I'm going to Straddie tomorrow. If I woke up in the morning and I didn't have a GPS map and I had never been to the barge before, never been to Straddie, and I had no idea where I was going, I had a car and I didn't have the moving parts, and I didn't have petrol, and I didn't know where the petrol stations were along the way, or how long it was going to take to get to Straddie. And when I got there, hadn't booked the barge, so I wouldn't catch the barge. Got to the island, didn't know which campground I was on or where I was going. This is where frustration, overwhelm, and everything goes, because you don't have the map. You don't have the confidence, you don't have the map, and you don't know which direction you're going. Number 3 is sales simply and effectively happen. So I'm going away for 4 nights. I know that when I come back, I will still be generating leads. I will still have clients booked into my calendar, and sales will still be happening. And I can still go away and have an enjoyable holiday. Number 4 is you have a professional business that is effortlessly growing. So one of the things I always say is that whoever does social media best gets the client. So we cannot stick our heads in the ground and go, well, we're just going to continue to cross our fingers or spit into the wind and hope that it all just works out. The unfortunate thing is that there is just so much out there in the world that we take little bits of everything and we don't ever fully follow through with anything. So one of my biggest bits of advice for you is make sure that if you do take anything on, that you don't do anything else except that one thing and get it working. And that honestly is one of my biggest pieces of advice for you, because when we take little bits and pieces from everywhere, that is where it doesn't work. It's not going to be successful. So let me talk about my story and this gorgeous picture in front of you. So yes, I'm from South Africa, Durban, South Africa, and I've been here for 13 years. 13 years ago, we got the opportunity to come here. My twins were 4 years old and my youngest was 1 year old. You can see I've got identical twin girls there, Erin and Jordan and Hannah. When we got here, I was going to stay home, look after the children, do a bit of personal training on the side. That's the background that I have. So let me say this, I am not techie at all. I'm hyperactive. In fact, I'm sitting here right now itching to move because I've been sitting for way too long. I'm highly active. I'm non-techie. But my husband at the time, he was going to work. I was going to look after the children, and he was made redundant twice. So no Centrelink, paying our way into the country, gave up, paid off cars, paid off houses, had absolutely no money. Terrifying. The kids got sick. I remember 1 month they all got gastro and the doctor wouldn't charge like one appointment for all 3 of them. I had to pay individually $80, I think it was, for each, because we weren't on Centrelink. And we had absolutely no money. The roof of our car used to fall down, but my twins used to hold the roof up because it was falling down. And I'm very happy to say that this year, my twins are on the road. So please, if you see a P-plater in a white Toyota Corolla, drive away from them, go around them. But my twins, I was just fortunate enough to be able to buy them a Toyota Corolla, $8,000 car, which was significantly better than the first car we ever had when we moved here. So the reason I share this with you is because I didn't have experience. All I had was a will and a want and a passion, and I didn't want to go back to South Africa. I wanted to stay here, and I needed to make money. I had no other option but to invest in myself and my ability to grow a profitable business. And I couldn't just be visible, and I couldn't just make friends. Now, you know, I'm from the Gold Coast. I live here on the Gold Coast, and everyone knows there's a personal trainer on every corner, lots of Botox, lots of big boobs. And I don't have any of that. Nobody knew me. I had no sporting background here in Australia. Didn't go to school. Nobody knew me. But I ended up in the news. I ended up on TV. I ended up opening up a health, wellness, and fitness center within 5 years. And the way that I did that was learning how to use social media without paying for advertising, and in a relationship-focused manner, not a spammy manner. And I made a lot of mistakes along the way. I could share that with you in another time, but a lot of mistakes along the way. But what I did learn was that I originally called myself a coach. I quite like the name coach, and I called myself a Facebook coach, and Facebook is my primary platform. I love Facebook. And I think it's fantastic for a lot of business owners. But one of the things that I learned is that I can coach you on how to use the platforms. But what the difference between knowing how to use the platforms and being able to make money is a strategy. And that is why I changed my name to strategist, because it's not one size fits all. It is different for every business owner. It is different for every business owner, for every client that you're going after. It's about the strategy. And if you don't enjoy the strategy, you will not follow through on the strategy. It's the same as if you went to a personal trainer and they made you do 1,000 burpees and you had a bad back and you absolutely hated doing burpees, but every time you went to your trainer, they made you do burpees, your chances are you'd hurt yourself, you wouldn't go back, and it would leave a terrible taste in your mouth. So that is the difference between a strategy, is that it's got to be comfortable for the client, and it's got to work, it's got to be comfortable for the client, and it's got to be relevant to the business owner. So after going through all those struggles, as I said, within 5 years, I opened up a health, wellness, and fitness center. And what I learned during that time was, in my mind, everyone was going to use the space. We'd network, we'd collaborate, and we'd grow, and we'd live happily ever after. At that point, I'd left my husband. I had a midlife awakening, left my husband, had this facility, and unfortunately, none of the people who utilized the space could pay me rent. So every week, they couldn't pay me rent because they couldn't get clients. So I started to run a meetup for health, wellness, and fitness professionals, showing them how to use social media to be able to get more clients without paying for advertising. And that led to me selling the business just before COVID and going full-time into this business. So you can see the top left-hand picture there. My twins are there, my youngest Hannah. The twins are now turning 17. Hannah's my youngest 14. My dog Ziggy, I'm a dog lover. My partner Sandy, who I met on Tinder. And if you go onto my website, you'll be able to read a blog that I wrote about what Tinder taught me about social media. So I encourage you to read that. But that is us now. And I've had the opportunity to present all over the world, online, in person, won multiple awards. Recently was just nominated top 10 business strategists. And again, I'm sharing this to you because I'm just little old me. I had no marketing background. I had no tech experience. I'm not a systems guru or anything. All I did was find a simple solution that worked because it had to work. One of my greatest achievements, the bottom right-hand corner, was me buying a property. And I remember when I went to the Gold Coast Expos, the Small Business Expos recently, someone said to me, "Oh, you're so lucky. You're so lucky that you were able to buy a property," because they had all been trying to buy a property. And they said, "Well, self-employed, single, 3 children. I paid my ex-husband child support." And they went, "Oh, and you were able to buy a property." And I said, "No, it wasn't lucky. I worked my butt off. I got myself a coach and I positioned myself to be able to buy a property, from having gone from broke on the bones of my butt to be able to do that. It was a plan. I didn't just cross my fingers. I had a plan. I stuck to the plan and I worked towards that plan. So I've had the privilege of writing my Facebook formula, which is on Amazon. Again, just winning multiple awards. There's the Australian Business Journal nominated 10 Australian business strategists. And I still get a bit weird when I see it. And a couple of other awards there. But at the end of the day, I'm a camping girl. I don't wear makeup. When Aldwyn said, go put on makeup. The good news is like I do scrub up for awards. You would have seen a couple of pictures there where I've scrubbed up for some photos and awards, but that's about it. And one of my things is that I wanted to work with 7-figure businesses without wearing high heels or makeup. And that is what I have. So whatever business you want to have in that vision that you have, it's not one size fits all. You can have whatever it is. All you have to do is invest in yourself to become the best at that. And then people won't care what you're wearing. They will not care. And I walk in now and I just go, excuse me, not wearing makeup. I'm not a fan. I've got 3 daughters who spend enough money on makeup. I don't need that. So if you're feeling desperate or hopeless in your business and you absolutely do not know what to do and you've got no marketing budget, and this is what I find, some business owners do not have the money to outsource it to someone else. And the other thing is a lot of business owners don't want to outsource their voice, because when you outsource it to the Philippines, there's no ways that they can communicate your passion, your values, and what it is that you do. So by all means, if you want to outsource it to someone else, that's okay. You have to get the strategy right first, because then you can give it to them and teach them how to do it. And if you're constantly feeling like you're doing everything but getting nowhere, I can tell you right now, frickin' stop. Stop doing what you're doing and just get one thing right. I spoke to a lady this morning and she said to me, I want to start a YouTube channel. And I'm like, YouTube channel is so far down your funnel. It's not even funny. funny. It is so far down your funnel. That's not going to get you clients right now. And she's got a 2-year-old boy. And I said to her, where in the funnel can we put that? You need to be focusing on income producing things right now. Get that working first and grow from there. And that was actually something I learned from Russell Brunson from Expert Secrets. Get one thing right. So again, I'm just going to show you the exact strategies that I use, that business owners are happy and thriving, and that is so important. So you might wish to just screenshot these. If you like, go for gold. And if you have any questions, please, usually I say it's Italian rules because my dad's Dutch in South Africa. My mom's Italian in South Africa. So that's why I talk with the hands. That's the Italian in me. But Italian rules, if you need to interrupt me, please feel free to interrupt me and ask a question if you need to, or write it in the chat and I'll answer it at the end. I'm very conscious of time. So number one is know you. The first thing that I do when I work with business owners is work out how they want to be seen online. Because I'm going to tell you that if you do not like doing Facebook Lives, and if you don't want to be the face of your business for whatever reason, for privacy reasons, for whatever reason, well, guess what? There is a strategy for you too. So I don't want you to not do it and not go out there and not serve the world with your passion because you feel like you have to do video marketing, you have to do lives, or you have to be the face of your business. If you have reasons, for whatever reasons they are, because I work with a lot of lawyers, psychologists, a lot of people who've got domestic violence orders and a whole bunch of other stuff out there, it doesn't mean that you don't have to make an impact in the world. You can still make an impact. There is a strategy for you. So that is really important for me. And then working out your personal branding, your story, your why, and your business backstory. Like Aldwyn said, having those things ready is really important because Channel 9 literally texted me while I was at the gym and said, I will see you in an hour. And I had to send them through everything that they needed. Number two is you've got to get people to like you, okay? And this is why it's really important for you to be clear on what are your values. So for example, a lot of people will ask me to present late at night. And there's only a certain few people that I will actually do that for. A lot of people I say no to because I'm a morning girl. And the nighttime is when I'm my least creative, I'm at my sort of my worst. And that's family time for me. So understand who your values are and create a business around your values, but then also being clear on how you're going to connect with people. So for me, I'm a dog person. I love telling people about my dog. And we went out to dinner with a whole bunch of clients on Saturday night, and they were all dog people sitting there talking about our dogs. And people connect at a deep and meaningful level when you put in those social elements, which are so important. So a lot of people get that part wrong because they'll be too social and never salesy. And sometimes they'll be too salesy and never social. And they forget to continue to tell their story and to connect with people and let people know how they are as a person, because you've got new people coming onto your profiles all the time. So it's important that you have to keep redoing it. People do not see everything all the time. Okay, Gary Vee has posts 20 times a day. He's got 70,000 channels, and you might only see one thing from him every 3 or 4 days. So do not be scared and think that you are spamming your friends or bothering them, because the algorithm doesn't quite work like that. Number three is you've got to get people to trust you. And this is where the consistent key messages is so important, meaning that the same thing that should be coming out your mouth all the time. You should have these mission statements or these values or these sentences or these words that you continue to replicate all the time. So you become known for those things. And if you're stuck or if you're unsure what they are, ask the people that you know, like, and trust what they like about you, what they know about you, and ask the people who you've worked with if you get stuck. Now, the next part of this trust is develop on and off relationships, because I cannot tell you enough how I keep hearing people about online courses, take it online, and they try to fill people into groups and charge $7 and get 1,000 people. I can tell you now that sometimes it's easier to sell to one person and make $1,000 than it is to sell to 100 people a $10 program. So it's really important for you to consider that when you're doing it, because a lot of people are trying to take themselves out of the business. And like I said, you don't have to have your personal branding in there, but it's really important that if you're going to do it, so a lot of personal trainers want to have an online business And I say to them, most people go to a personal trainer because they want accountability, or else they're just going to go Michelle Bridges. Why should they go to you? The only thing that you can do is keep you in it, because I'll come to you because of you, and I'll come to you for the accountability. So to making sure that you have those touch points and that you're developing the relationships offline as well. I once had a coach who came to me and said, I'm selling a $10,000 program. I don't want to have a call with anybody. I just want them to go on and buy my program. And I said, I'm sorry, you're not Tony Robbins. It's not going to happen. And his program, I think, is $2,000 to $4,000. And he's still got salespeople who will phone you and sell you into a program. Number 4 is, in order to get a yes from everyone, you need to share your education and your expertise. Okay, so share your knowledge. Did you knows are really important. Statistics are really important, because some people are left-brained, and left-brained people need statistics. And again, lives are great if you're comfortable in doing them. I believe that Facebook Lives can make or break your brand. So if you're not ready for it just yet, develop your skills first before even going into it. I know people have been hurt emotionally from doing Facebook Lives because they weren't quite ready and they were forced into it. And again, that's just my belief and how I feel about it. I believe that you can be successful without them, and it's better for you to develop your skills. And it is a bit of it is progression. Number 5 is credibility. If you have qualifications, if you've got awards, if you've got registrations, licenses, or years experience, put that into your marketing, because that is going to differentiate you from everyone out there. And at the end of the day, it's people don't want to know how much you're like everyone else. They want to know how different you are to everyone else. In the tradie industry, those who say that they qualified, they registered, if they say that they are registered, they are more likely to get contacted through Google than if they don't say that they're registered, even though they are all registered, we should hope. So number 6 is social proof. This is really important. And you would have noticed at the beginning, I've shown text messages from clients where there's actual proof that what it is that you do does work. So it's important that you share social proof, you share success stories, and that you encourage people to recommend you online and mention you online by using your tag or your handles. And I loved what Aldwyn said earlier. For example, there's a guy that I work with, his name's Brad, and I won't say from which company, but his URL tag is Eat, Play, Poo, which has nothing to do with his actual name or his business name. And nobody's going to know to tag Eat, Play, Poo. So it's really important that you have a look at your handles and you have a look at your URLs, and that there is a consistency between the platforms, or else it'll be very difficult. Part of that is going through and stalking yourself and seeing if anyone else has your name. Because if they do, so for example, I work with a company that's called Think, Love, Live. They're sustainability. They make swimwear out of recycled products. There is another brand with exactly the same URL, and it is a punk rock band. So when they're getting tagged online, the punk rock band's getting tagged and they're not getting tagged. So your handles are incredibly important. And this little round picture of your face is really important, even more so than than a logo, because people are less likely to remember a logo and more likely to remember your face or name if you're comfortable with it. Number 7 is brand awareness. And this is where we talk about consistent key messaging, your pictures, as well as your graphics. So your tone or your feel. So Aldwyn uses a caricature. I have a Bitmoji. So if you go into my profile, you'll see I have got Bitmoji images of a cartoon of me, but I'm very much like that. And the cartoon feel is part of my branding. However, if yours is more professional, it's important to keep that obviously relevant to your audience, relevant to you, relevant to your audience. But we talk about it from a graphic position to what comes out of your mouth in your messaging as well. Number 8 is your point of difference. And I've touched on this a little bit, but at the end of the day, it's not what you do that's the same as everyone else. It's what you do that is different to everyone else. And if this is one thing that you take away from today, it's please just, when you're on social media, just share what you do that's different, even if it's a little bit risky or out there. Okay, sometimes we feel like we've got to conform a little bit. So it's really important that, the other thing is really important that you use their language and not your language. Okay, so I find a lot of people in the healing or the spiritual space, they will go use things, you know, like quantum and vibration, and they'll use all, I'm just using the words because Aldwyn's used them today, but they will use these words, but they forget about how they felt before they knew that. And the words or the language or the content that you need to be providing is the before, not the after. Because if you think about your before self and you heard those words, would they make you come closer to it or further away from it? So it's important that we use the client's words, not your words, and go back to the before, not the after. And again, a really good exercise is to go and ask people that you've worked with and say to them, how did you feel before working with me beforehand? And how do you feel afterwards? Number 9 is your unique selling point. And again, this is really important, but I believe that you are part of your unique selling point. So putting yourself in there is really important. Talking about what you do is really different. But handling objections is important. So for example, if you know, for example, that postage right now, if you sell products and the postage cutoff is on the 13th of December, if you know that that's an objection, you need to handle those objections in your marketing. Okay. If you are accessible and want to work one-on-one with clients, so whatever clients constantly are asking you, like how long is the program for, like frequently asked questions, it's important to include that in your marketing, because your frequently asked questions are your unique selling point, but they handle objections, which means it helps you get a yes easier from your clients online. And the last one is your niche. And when you look at your niche, it's really important that you look at your desirable program. So many people put together a program that is not desirable to your audience or to your ideal customer, and your ideal customer should want to pay you money or be happy to pay you money. They are not your desired customer if they have no money to pay you. Okay? They are not. You're fishing in the wrong pond. It's really important that the program that you put together is actually desirable by somebody and they are prepared to pay for it. And surveying is really, really important. And working with a coach and having an outsider give you a non-emotional feedback on it's really important. But looking at the packaging, looking at the pricing, and I'm going to add and look at the processes. So, you know, Aldwyn mentioned it earlier today about the system of, you know, the Zoom and the logging in and the two-step process and all of that. At the end of the day, it comes down to processes. Making the processes as customer friendly and as user friendly as possible, because so many people are getting to your social media or they're getting to your website and they're not following through with the transaction just because of the process that you have. There was a customer that I work with in New Zealand. They came to me, they said, look, we're looking at our abandoned carts. About 50% of the people are abandoning carts and we can never get those people back again. Like, we really want them to follow through and pay us. I went in and had a look. The process was incorrect. They had the wrong payment gateway in there. We changed the payment gateway. I think it took them 2 minutes to change the payment gateway. And now their abandoned cart rate's 10%. So it's really, really important that you make things as easy as possible. So what are the 3 biggest strategies? And I'm going to use client examples over here. So number 1 is you have to know who your audience is. Remember the paying audience? The paying audience actually wants what you've got. So you've got to know who those people are. You really have to know what they're struggling with. So it's the before you. It's generally the before you, and people often forget this. What they are interested in, because you have to connect with them in a deep and meaningful level so that they can relate to you, and what they are prepared to pay for it. Too many people price themselves out of the market. If you charge too cheap, you will not get paid. If you charge too much, you will not get paid. So it's really important that you have a look at the pricing and the packaging. So this is Naomi, and with Naomi, Naomi's actually phenomenal. She had this Facebook group, or has this Facebook group, heaps of people in there, nurturing them. She was doing Facebook Lives every day, fantastic content, loves what she does. Came to me and said to me, oh my gosh, these people are just not buying anything. They're showing up all the time. They're listening to me. They're going, that's nice, that's great. But I've got absolutely no clients that are coming from it. And at the end of the day, what she needed was a step-by-step process of identifying who her ideal client is. She had to get clear on her messaging, clear in her direction, and clear in her plan, so that instead of just giving general advice to everybody, She was now not just being social, but there was an element of salesy so that she could get people into booking a call with her and then selling them into a program and having that process and that funnel. And it came through the messaging that she had with her clients. And I think in the first 3 months, I think she made $8,000 in her coaching practice, which was the most that she'd ever made in the previous year. So the strategy number 2 is having competence. Now, competence is really important. And a lot of you are going, oh, I can't learn this stuff, or it's so hard. But at the end of the day, if you just had more competence in using social media to build relationships which end in sales and more sales, you will get an income producing result. It comes down to competence. Now, unfortunately, people come to me and they go, oh, I know how to use social media. And what they really know how to do is log into their profiles. They know how to report someone or block someone usually, and they know how to post their food or baby pictures, which is great. But they don't have competence in marketing their business. And as I said, if I learned how, everyone else can learn how too. So this is Ryan and Rachel. I train a lot of wives. A lot of husbands get their wives and go, right, you're in charge of social media for the business. And she came to me and said, she was actually a beautician. I'm a beautician. Now I'm doing the social media for the business. Like, I want to work with my husband. I want to do this. And I've got absolutely no idea. And she had absolutely no competence. And I was able to sit down with them and show them exactly how to do it so that when Ryan was out in the field, Ryan can send the information through to his wife, and then she knows how to strategically post it online. Now, when I talk about sales and more sales, we're not talking about just a $285 pest inspection, which they're generating through social media. They have been able to land body corporate jobs to the value of around $20,000 just through being connected on social media. So being mentioned, connecting, sharing their expertise, and being able to do it. And they were picked up by Channel 10 News. So Channel 10 News, we're inside a Facebook group. There are hundreds of pest people in there posting and doing things. And they said, we love your community spirit. We love how you network. We love how you support everyone online. We'd love it if you could comment on the rat infestation that we've got right now. And that was unpaid media that they were able to get, which is really awesome. And she still goes, I still don't quite know what I'm doing, but I just follow the plan that you gave me. Just follow like what you've taught me how to do and follow the plan, and it just works. And again, it's not everything, it's just what you need to do. This part over here is really crucial, this last part. Effectively communicate consistency to compel an inquiry and sale, focusing on a logical customer journey that is outcome focused. It has to be logical to the customer. If it's not logical to the customer, they will scroll past you and you will not come up in front of their algorithm or feed again. You will just go into the background. And becoming clear on that's really important. So with Fern as a transformational coach, she was working actually for a big corporate company. She came to me and said, oh, look, I want to start my own business. I've got no idea how to use Facebook at all. And I said to her, no worries. We'll come together and we'll put together a desirable offer. And nobody knew on Facebook. So I said, well, you know, if nobody knows you, let's start a webinar. Why don't we run a webinar? We'll put together a webinar. We'll generate some leads, get some inquiries, and get your messaging out there. Her messaging was so consistent and compelling over the 6 weeks of generating leads or customers into the webinar that she was able to sell somebody into $3,400 program before the webinar even started. She actually had a call with somebody and sold them into a program because her content plan and the content marketing and the strategy across all social media was consistent. Someone said, I don't even have to go onto the webinar. I feel you. I know what you're offering. It's right for me. I'll hand over the $3,400, which is really often. So fortune favors the bold. So I really want to encourage you to be absolutely bold and face your problems with determination and courage so that you can attain massive levels of success, because being brave is often rewarded and bravery brings good luck. So what are you going to post tomorrow that'll reach more people, get more engagement, create more income producing opportunities to grow your profiles, to be more visible and to get more sales? And seriously, you need to focus on the sales. A good strategy ends with money. And again, it might just be the South African in me and the fact that, you know, we had absolutely no Centrelink, so we could not rely on that. I had no choice but to make it work, and it had to make money. I couldn't play small anymore. So insanity is doing the same thing again and again, expecting a different result. And again, I'm going to encourage you, if you are getting up every single day and you're doing the same thing and it's not working, and if you go into your insights and your reports and it's not working, stop doing it. You might as well be doing nothing because it's not working. Sit down and map it out. Map out how much money you want to make. How many products do you need to sell? Who are the people that are prepared to buy that? Where are those people hanging out? How can you effectively communicate to them online what it is that you're offering based on their problem and their pain and the outcome that you can give for them? And then how can you persuade them and compel them with your content? And then send them through the funnel, a very simple one-step process where they literally can just, and it needs to be logical for them, they literally can engage your service. And if that means a phone call first, get them on the phone call. That's what I learned on Tinder. On Tinder, they go cold very quickly. If you sit there and you text backwards and forwards, they're texting everybody else at the same time. It's in my blog that I wrote. They're texting multiple people at the same time. So not really serious, but they take those seriously to say, hey, let's have a conversation. Let's have a chat. Let's get offline very quickly. Let's have a chat, see if this is right. So you're not alone. There's a lot of people out there, and you can ask for advice, but I'm very, very cautious about this one because a lot of people are spruiking a whole bunch of different things. So it's really important that if you do take advice from people, that you check that they have results. For these other two people, the one had spent $20,000, the other one had spent $50,000. They didn't do their due diligence. They didn't go online and check testimonials, success story, saw if the person walked the walk, not just talked the talk. And if you do take somebody's advice, some of my favorite F words is follow through. Don't listen to everyone else. Follow one thing through until it works. And when it doesn't work, you don't rebrand, you tweak it. You identify the thing that's not working, and you pivot it a little bit, and you tweak it, and you get it working. You don't throw it out and start all over again. Too many people do that. So I mean, this is a simple chart that I've got over here, which shows that, but at the end of the day, like if you've got, let's just have a look. If you've got low communication and clarity and low confidence and certainty, chances are you're going to waste time and money. You're going to be stressed and overwhelmed, and you're going to get no leads or have time wasters. I remember when I first got it wrong in the beginning, I'd getting all these people phoning for a free health check. And they were like, we're never going to sign up or use it. I just want a free health check, online health check. And I was like, that strategy is not working. All I'm doing is getting the free people, not the people who are prepared to pay money. Communication, competence, confidence, and clarity. These are some of the biggest things. Clarity in your business, clarity in your message, clarity in your offer and your audience, competence in using these platforms, because so many people think that they have their platforms set up correctly and they don't. They have the URLs set up correctly and they don't. People are mentioning them online and they're missing those recommendations, they're missing those leads because they don't know. They're not competent in the platforms. And it's not that hard. You just need to be shown how. Communication, effective communication of what you do is really important. But if you have a content bucket, a little bucket, all you got to do is pull out of that bucket. And if you work with a coach, they should be able to give you that content bucket, which will show you all the words that you need to be using in your marketing so you can become memorable like McDonald's. And then confidence, because confidence means you can have fun. You can have fun in getting customers because you wake up every day confident that it's going to work and not stressed. So we've looked at challenges and opportunities. We've looked at strategies that are making sales, and we've looked at the social media success scoring and mastering the 4 biggest problems. And how can you overcome these? As I said, it's about mastering your marketing online. It's about having a roadmap so you know exactly where to go. You know where the P breaks are. You know where the tolls are. You know the shortest routes. You know the obstacles and the roadblocks along the way. And you can get there and have fun along the way. Getting that clarity is super important, becoming more confident, effectively communicating and getting those clients. And Aldwyn has nicely said that I can share with you a program that I do have. I do have this 8-week program that I take clients through where we map out that one income producing funnel so that you can get it right. because chances are you've got bits and pieces everywhere and you just need somebody to pull it together for you. And guess what? It starts with productivity and getting your business basics and your fundamentals right. Because I know that at the beginning, Aldwyn said to me, oh, you've got to be disciplined because, you know, if you're going away on holiday, you're not going to spend your life on social media. Well, guess what? It's in your calendar. It's in my calendar when I spend time on social media. And when I get onto social media, I know what I'm doing. So it's productive and it's effective. So there's just some of the things that we go through, but at the end of the day, it is a one-on-one program, and there's so many consultants that don't do one-on-one anymore. They stick you into a group of people and they take you through a general or cookie cutter program. And I'm passionate about doing personalized programs and my one-on-one consultancy program. So this can be done over 8 weeks, or it can be done on a half day. If you are a certain type of person, I can do it over a half day, but most people perform well or prefer it over 8 weeks of mapping it out. As a bonus for today, you will also receive my Do-It-Yourself Facebook Ads program, although I will put this disclaimer up right now. I have built a 6-figure business from being in the bones of my ass, and I've done no paid advertising, none. But I've included this in here because some businesses go, oh, you know, I want to explore, I want to get to know, or I want to understand Facebook advertising. So this will show you what to do. There are over 176 testimonials online. You can go to all different platforms and have a look. Sorry about the one bad review that I have, which talks about my insensitivity in my subject line of an email. But, you know, if you put yourself out there, sometimes you are going to get some wackos as well, and that's okay. So there's the program. And I decided at the last minute, I think I said to Aldwyn, the program's $2,235 for one-on-one consultant, but I'm actually going to give you the Black Friday sale. It finished yesterday. Today's Tuesday. It finished yesterday, Cyber Monday at 5 p.m. So I will give it to you at the less 25% off. You won't see it that price again. It's just never at that price. There is a payment plan as well on the right-hand side, although you won't get the discount. But if you are interested, it's as simple as emailing Chantal at chantalgerardi.com.au or private messaging me, and I will send you the link and the details, or I'm available for the next hour and can have a chat with you as well. But that will give you immediate access to my calendar for our one-on-one appointments, where I will look at your roadblocks, clarify and rip everything apart and put it together so you have that income producing funnel, clarity, competence, and confidence. And as I said, as a bonus anyway, I'd love to help you. I've got a 14-day Facebook content program every day for 14 days. I will jump into your email and I'll give you some inspo for your marketing. And I'll also send you the social media results focus checklist. So if you don't mind liking my Facebook page, reviewing the Facebook page and talking about today's presentation and what was your biggest aha moment or what did you learn today? And then just private message me because I will be needing your email address so I can send it to you. Questions?
Fantastic. That was brilliant, Chantal. Absolutely love that. So much content packed in there, and I'm sure we've all learned something from that. I was fascinated by your Channel 10 pickup for your pest control client. And when Channel 10 called them, did they say specifically what they wanted to interview them about?
Yes, they called them and they said, I still remember when she called me and told me, she said, oh, channel, you know, I think it was Channel 9 or Channel 10. No, it must be Channel 9. I don't know, I can't remember. Oh. And she said, oh, there was, so they had a rat infestation on the Gold Coast. And one of the journalists were in a Facebook group. And because of the professionalism and the way that they positioned themselves online, out of all the pest companies, they chose them. I actually had a record week. That week, there was an Airbnb in Sydney who got picked up as a quirky location to visit in Sydney. They got picked up. So, and again, that's not what I teach at all about, you know, how to do that. For me, it's just about creating income opportunities. But of course, you know, PR is income producing opportunities. Yes. But she was picked up she was an Airbnb. And then I also had a product called Strikehold. They got picked up for a camping show. So camping show phoned them, interviewed them. So I got 3 in 1 week. It was really an awesome week. So.
Awesome. Amazing. And there you go. See, that's a great example there of how you can use social media to actually get traditional media coverage. Absolutely brilliant. And, you know, the thing is, journalists are on social media. Now, a lot of them are actually on Twitter. You know, a lot of people not doing much with Twitter, but you'll find a lot of journalists, a lot of celebrities on Twitter. So really building these relationships on Facebook and Twitter with journalists. And you know, these are the two main social media that traditional media use. And you'll see on shows sometimes I say comment on Facebook or Twitter, right? That's what they ask for. So Facebook and Twitter is where you want to be if you want to reach more journalists. So that's brilliant, Chantal. Now, any questions? I know we've gone a little bit over time, but such good content. We'll just keep going for a little bit longer. And then we've got giveaways coming up. So we've got some great prizes coming up for everyone in the Zoom room. We'll aim to wrap up shortly, but any questions from anyone from Chantal and also in Facebook? Any questions in Facebook or on the Zoom room? Just unmute yourself, put your hand up. Questions for Chantal? Who'd like to ask a question? Just pop your hand up. I can see those, some of you. Yes, Slava, over to you. Please unmute yourself.
Chantal, wanted to ask you from your experience, as I'm not sure if you remember my story. Started as a personal trainer, progressed towards mind, body, and eating coaching, which is more on a more about mindset and emotions, emotion coaching. But I, just like you, all those years back, I sort of need the cash flow right now. So I'm thinking the easiest, the fastest way really would to get few personal training clients to get cash flow, and then eventually start gearing towards the online coaching.
100%. Love what you said over there. And it drives me nuts because one of the people that the example I was telling you about was the lady who spent $20,000 who has borrowed it. She's a lady who's got a 2-year-old son. She's a young girl in her 30s, spent $20,000 and is nowhere. She has an online course and nobody's buying it. And at the end of the day, people buy people. People buy people. And so at the end of the day, I had absolutely no money, spent no money on it. Start to make money. Go out there, tell your story, talk about all your point of difference. That's what I did. When I realized I didn't have the big boobs and the Botox and stuff, when I accepted that fact, and when I am me and I have all of those things, all I'm going to do is talk about what I am and not what I'm not. And all I did was talk about the fact that I was this crazy South African woman who'd moved to this new country. And for me, it was all about eating to lose weight. It was always about having fun and that you didn't have to do burpees if you didn't want to. As soon as that became part of my key messaging, I started attracting clients like that and started becoming known for those things. And that's how I built my client base. So once you get those personal training clients, in from there, then you would transition into an online program. And I would never, and I'm just going to say this, there's too many people like Chris Hemsworth and Michelle Bridges and all these other people with online courses. I would never take you out of an online course. I'm working with another personal training business at the moment, and we've got touch points per week. So it's all about the touch points because you're offering touch points and Michelle Bridges is not offering touch points. So if you offer you and your touch points, you're more likely to be able to give them help. And the other thing, Slava, that I did is I worked for free. Now, a lot of people in Australia, there seems to be a thing where they don't want to work for free. I worked for free. I did it in South Africa when I started out. I used to take personal training clients at the busiest time. And I chose people that had big mouths, people like beauticians and hairdressers who cared about their appearance. And I got testimonials, I got success stories, I gave them fantastic service. They bought their friends, and that's how I started. And it seems to be this thing over here where people tell you don't work for free, you're more valuable than that. When you're starting out, like I work for free and I leverage the crap out of that. And I did that with my social media coaching business as well. I worked for free in the beginning.
Yeah. Cool.
So I hope that helps you. And there's free resources on my website. I tell everyone, if you just read my blogs, you wouldn't have to pay me. If you just read my blogs, you wouldn't have to pay me. Seriously, just go and access the blogs.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
No worries.
Thank you.
Amazing, Chantal. You know, they say there's no greater purpose than being of service. And, you know, whatever you do, if you can support people in some way, you know, some people will be ready to invest with you. And, you know, you're investing in one or two ways. You either invest your time, right, to save money, or you invest your money to save time. So, you know, time is the most valuable resource we have on the planet, right? So I think your offer today was unbelievable, Chantal. And if you could pop that link into the comments there, that would be brilliant. And also on Facebook, we have Linda Powell on Facebook saying, thank you, everyone. Great information. At 75, I'm still learning. Haha. So thank you for that, Linda. And some beautiful comments also in the Zoom room as well. Christina Christensen says, thank you, great presentations, very inspired by you, Chantal, as I'm starting out as a social media manager with a chosen niche market in small wineries. So resonates with me being personal as you are. Very curious about PR, don't know much about it or how to get publicized. And thanks to both of us. Subscribe there. You can subscribe, chantalgerardi.com.au. We have got some giveaways coming up shortly. Any other questions for Chantal before we go to the giveaways? Any final questions? Thank you, Chantal, popping those links in. And please, for everyone who's been on the Zoom, also go into Mass Media Tribe where we've Zoomed to. We have live streamed into, and if you can pop your links over there as well, underneath the chat there, that would be brilliant as well. So I'll just pop that direct link for you to the live, just straight into the Zoom chat there. So you can go straight to that link and you'll see, it might ask you to join Mass Media Tribe if you haven't joined already. But that's the link to go to, pop your links for your businesses, etc., where we can connect with you as well. Everyone has introduced themselves here. Thank you so much. Any other questions for Chantal? Last chance, questions, any ahas? Anyone want to talk about what they're going to maybe do differently now with their social media now from listening to that? Any other questions, ahas? Anyone want to share? Just pop your hand up, unmute yourself. Anyone else?
I would just like to talk to my South African brother over there,
Yes.
Buerta. No, Buerta. Was it Botha? With regards to franchises. So a lot of the time with franchises, it's a two-pronged thing because you've got to be able to get people to choose your franchise over everyone else, but you've also got to set the example and you've got to empower your other franchise owners. So social media is a huge part, and I was lucky enough to go to the Franchise Association's Christmas party last year, and they said the number one thing that people choose a franchise based on is the level of support that they give their franchisees. And I work with a lot of franchisors who bring me in to actually be able to train themselves and their teams as well, and a lot of the wives who run the social media for the businesses.
Fantastic.
Thanks for that. Appreciate it.
And how do we say your last name, Noel?
Botha. I'm the English Botha.
You are Botha.
Both have a piece of cake.
Not Buerta.
Buerta is the Dutch side. It's the Dutch.
Right.
So then my side is the English Buertas, but Buerta's like Cooper over here. It's a very common surname in South Africa. Yeah.
Wow, it's been very educational, very multicultural here on today's Mass Media Tribe event. Next, we'll be learning South African. That'll be coming up next month, so stay tuned. Actually, we learned a little bit today too, didn't we? That was awesome. All right, fantastic. Well, look, feel free to pop any of your ahas or questions in the comments, either here in Zoom or over in the Facebook group in Mass Media Tribe, and I'm sure we'll check those later if you have any questions. And just pop your ahas and your learnings in there, just some of the main things you got from today, from anything you've heard today. Okay, there's a reason you're here today, and I do appreciate your time, and thank you for staying back with us as well. So ahas, questions, pop into the Facebook group, Mass Media Tribe there, or if you're watching this on YouTube, wherever you are, this will be up on YouTube shortly. So if you're watching it there as well, make sure you pop any questions, comments, ahas in there so you can cement the learnings. All right, now I've popped all the names of the people who have remained on the Zoom, popped you into the wheel of names. So I'm going to share screen right now. Here it is, sharing the screen. Here you all are. Now we have some wonderful prizes to give away today. Now, Chantal, do you have something you want to give away today? Just unmute yourself there. Yep.
Yes, as I said, I'm happy to give everyone the 14-day Facebook content program and that checklist if they'd like to jump across and just like my Facebook page and leave a review on today's webinar.
Wonderful. Okay, so please go and do that. So again, where can they go to do that, Chantal?
I did share it in the chat box a bit earlier. I will share it again.
Okay. All right. And if you can just speak it out as well, just for those on Facebook.
Chantal Girardi, online business strategist, Facebook page.
Okay. All right. So look that up for those on Facebook or other online media right now, and those in the Zoom. Do that. Thank you so much for that generous offer. Brilliant. Now, I also have a ticket to give away to the free publicity secrets masterclass coming up, and also to the social media masterclass that I'll be doing on Saturday. So one Saturday, one on Monday, for next Monday. So the first one, we'll do the free publicity secrets masterclass for our event. If you can't do this event, no doubt there'll be others. So this is a prize that you can carry forward. However, really the sooner that you get the learnings, the sooner you can take action. So that prize goes to free publicity secrets masterclass worth $97 online. And the winner is Sonia. Congratulations, Sonia. Well done. Congratulations. So just send me a PM with your email address, please, Sonia. You'll find my main Facebook profile in the link tree there, linktree/Aldwyn. And congratulations. That's Free Publicity Secrets Masterclass. And our social media masterclass coming up on Saturday goes to Angela. Angela, congratulations. You've won the social media masterclass. Well done. Well done. Now we have a wonderful prize here. Now, for anyone who's on the Zoom who'd like to donate a prize to, you're welcome to, whether it's a session or if you have anything to donate. We do have a wonderful prize here from Jennifer. Would you like to unmute yourself, Jennifer, and let us know what you have there for us?
Yes, I have the niche marketing and book guide with some of the dimensions and the different tips for people who are intending to become authors. Even if you are not an author, it's fine.
Awesome, awesome. And what's the value of that there, Jennifer?
That'll be $14.95, but including the postage cost.
Awesome, $14.95, and
little one.
Gems of, I'm sure there's gems of wisdom in there. So. Yeah. That is a fantastic prize. Thank you so much, Jennifer. And the winner of that is Chantal. Well done. See, givers always receive.
Please be kind.
Wonderful. All right. So no doubt the two of you will connect on that one. And that's a physical copy, of course, going out, isn't it, Jennifer? So or you might even want to meet in person, possibly. I know Chantal's also a BXer as well, goes to some BX meetings. Are you going to any BX meetings coming up, Chantal?
I'll be at Robina next week, I think.
Okay, Robina next week. Well, there you go. There's another opportunity.
Yeah.
Yep, you come along to BX. Fantastic. Any other prizes? Oh, here we go. Angela's offering a free initial spinal flow consultation valued at $125. Beautiful, Angela. Can you let us know a little bit more about that? Just unmute yourself and we'll pick a winner for that one.
Sure, I hesitated because it has to be in person, so I sort of was making my mind up about it. But what it is so you'll fill in a health questionnaire to understand what you might like to get out or what health challenges you're dealing with, and then in the consultation, it's between an hour up to an hour and a half. We do a free assessment, understanding why you're having the symptoms you're having. Whether or not they're chemical, physical, or emotional stresses in your nervous system, how spinal flow can release those stresses in your nervous system and help you start healing. And then you also have a spinal flow session, which is between 20 minutes and half an hour.
Brilliant. Wow, that sounds amazing. Okay, so who wants to win that one?
But you do have to come to Caloundra.
Caloundra. Okay, it's worth the trip, I'm sure. Jennifer, congratulations. See, winners, givers always win. You see, it's how it goes. Well done, Jennifer. Congratulations. Congratulations.
Thank
Brilliant.
you.
Brilliant. Any other final prizes? It could be an online prize that you could offer if it's a coaching or something, or, you know, something else if you'd like to. Lorna, are you putting your hand up there? No, you're waving your hands around.
I really haven't got anything at the moment. So
okay.
Next time I will. But
okay, all good. All right, that's okay. That's okay. So it's always an opportunity to, you know, give back. It's always nice to give. Wonderful. Noel, are you speaking to someone, or can't really see there? or are you wanting to say something? It looks like you're unmuted, but I can't. It looks like you're talking, but I can't hear you. Oh, it looks like he's talking on the phone to someone. Okay, all right.
Can you hear me?
Oh yes, now I can hear you. Okay.
Sorry, I was trying to find out. Look, can we offer, like, I'm willing to offer a trial for the children that comes through to a session. They're more than welcome to come have a free trial. Is that worth anybody's while?
Yeah, sure, absolutely. Well, you never know. I mean, if someone can't use it for themselves, maybe they could gift it. So that would be wonderful. And where would they need to do that one, Noel? At
Aspley or at North Lakes Group. They can do that before. It must be done before I'd say the 14th of December. But they're more than welcome to come give it a trial. Okay, awesome. So for anyone in the Brisbane area, I won that. Fantastic. Look, that's great. I'm just trying to think, who could I gift it to? Does anyone know? Because my family would love it, but they're down in Gosford. Like my nephews would just love that. But of course, they're down there, so they're not going to be able to get up with the border situation. Does anyone know someone they'd like to gift that to? Anyone know someone that could use that here on the Zoom? For a kid, it's for a kid, isn't it? Under what age? Yeah, children 1.5 to 7.
Okay, I know quite a few people in Brisbane, so I can put the word out for it. Maybe if you pop in there what you do there in the Facebook chat as well, Noel, and I'll rack my brain and see who I can offer that to, or if someone else knows someone who'd love it, that would be awesome. So. Thank you, Noel. Thank you so much. Very generous, very generous. Thank you so much. Any other prizes? Last chance. Sonia's offering a free appraisal for anyone on the Gold Coast, or even help people if they want ideas on what things they can do to lift the value of their property when renovating. Awesome. Free appraisal from Sonia. Thank you so much, Sonia. And that goes to you, Noel. Well done.
Well, good, thank you.
Congratulations. And any final prizes? Lorna, if you like, here we go. I'll do 2 more prizes for the 2 remaining. We usually have everyone's a winner here. Everyone's a winner. So Lorna, I'll offer you a ticket to my social media masterclass online this Saturday. And Slava, you can have a ticket to my free publicity secrets masterclass. Okay. All right. So there's 2 prizes. So everyone becomes a winner here today. Yay. Fantastic. Thank you so much to everyone who's offered generously. Yes, Slava. Yes. Just.
I'd like to offer something as well. And I was thinking, should it be the eating psychology or should it be, but making it easier on me, I'll go with what's best for me right now. And I've been doing a lot of strengthening and balance training for ladies, mainly, older ladies. So again, this can be gifted as well. If you know anyone on the Gold Coast, ladies, especially over 40, 50, who have problem with their balance or would like to maintain their balance skills, prevent falls, and strengthening, because that is a big issue for women as we age, losing muscle mass and losing our balance.
Yes, I know someone perfect for that. A lady called Josie.
You'd love to offer 2 sessions.
I know someone who could really use that, who has trouble with balance. Yep. So yes.
So should we put it in a pool, or I'll swap you for your?
Or does anyone else here? Could anyone else really use that for balance? That's on this Zoom. Lorna, is that you saying yes? I can see.
Yeah, I can easily gift, 2 prizes. That's easy.
Okay,
done.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay, so Lorna, was that you nodding that you could use that?
I could definitely do with it, but I'm not sure whether I can get down to the Gold Coast. How often would you have to do it?
Oh, I can guarantee you your balance will get better after 2 or 3 sessions. That's guaranteed. Then it depends on you to use the skills. I can give you some exercises you can do at home. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Okay. Where are you, Lorna? Where are you, Lorna?
I'm in Brisbane.
That's easy.
Yeah. Not far. So the 2 of you can connect there. And I know someone who would also love that, Slava. So thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, please.
Thank you. Thank you to all our generous donors. I'm playing the Everyone's a Winner song because because we're all winners here today and we're all out working on ourselves, developing ourselves in some way. Thank you so much for joining us today. Now, some future things coming up. You might want to join me this afternoon. I'm actually going to be interviewing an amazing podcast host called Rose Davidson. She's based in Tasmania. How to start, grow, and monetize your podcast, coming up this afternoon, 3 p.m. Queensland time. So you'll find that on Aldwyn Altuney Media Queen Facebook page. You'll see that will be streamed soon, and we'll have notifications all over Facebook. Also, of course, we have the upcoming events. We've got the social media masterclass on Saturday. We've got the free publicity secrets masterclass next Monday. We have the Global Good News Challenge starting next Monday as well. So please stay connected. We will have another Mass Media Tribe event coming up shortly as well. So stay tuned for that. I suggest follow me in Eventbrite if you haven't already, and you'll find that in the Linktree link. That way you'll get all the event notifications coming up. Thank you so much for joining us. As we sign out here today, anyone want to share something that they got from today or something they're grateful for today before we wrap up here? Thank you so much, Chantal. Amazing. Love that. And of course, you can go back and watch the replay. Go back to the Mass Media Tribe group on Facebook and go back over that if you missed any of that amazing content today. Anyone want to share anything before we wrap up? Any ahas? What is the main thing you got from today who'd like to share before we wrap up and close this live off today? Thank you so much for staying back later. What's something you got out of today? I know we covered a lot of different content. Who'd like to share? What's one thing they got? Yes, Lorna, over to you.
Well, I got a lot from it, and I just like to thank you and Chantal for just sharing your information, your expertise, because there's a lot that I can take away and look at and kind of get in and see where I'm going from here.
Yes.
I'm doing so much at the moment that I need to continue what I'm doing instead of taking new stuff on, you know, basically. Yes, got it. There, but yeah, thank you so much. It's been valuable for me.
Yes, wonderful. Well, sometimes we can do lots of things. So from today, hopefully you'll learn, you've got something to help sharpen the saw today, right? Because sometimes we can do lots of things that aren't always productive. So, you know, hopefully from today with some of the strategies that Chantal has taught or that I've taught, hopefully you'll get some different ideas on how to sharpen the saw so that you're working more productively moving forward with your social media.
I'm working with what I've learned from you, and I'm working with that to make it happen. So
yes, awesome.
I'm kind of on my strategy.
Good on you, Lorna. That's
There's probably
brilliant.
More I'm going to have to add when I've got to this point.
Yes. Wonderful. Well done, Lorna. Thank you so much for sharing. Who else would like to share? What did you get out of today? What's an aha you got? Something you got out of today that you're going to take action on? Who'd like to share? Noel, Angela, Slava, what would you like to share? Sonia?
I can share two things. They're not, well, they're big for me, but they're just small at the moment. But so I get that when I was talking about Instagram that I don't understand Instagram, I'm like, I don't need to understand Instagram. So that was that's one thing I definitely got. Yeah, so anyway, that's a good one to get. And probably the other one, it came when you were sharing with the publicity and the media, you were sharing about Richard Branson, and you were sharing about the wacky things he did for his business. But I was reflecting on that because there's a reason why I don't mind being the owner and the founder of my business, but I don't want to be the face of my business. I want it to be bigger than me. So I don't want to be that. And I've been very conscious about that. And nearly every post you'll see, I'm very careful about that. And I talk about myself as a practitioner because I want to grow. So that's just had me reflect a little bit more about, what would be my standout thing then? Because I don't want it to be myself. I would be an expert in some things, but I don't want to be the one that's everywhere on everything. Yeah.
Got it. Okay, that's really interesting. What would you say to that, Chantal?
No, that's excellent. Yeah, look, so Instagram is a much younger demographic, and to tell you the truth, I don't see anybody buying spinal flow treatments off of Instagram. So why spend your time there? Why waste your time there? Why get completely overwhelmed with it? Stick on Facebook. I know people in the health, wellness and fitness space are doing so well on Facebook with paying customers, and Google My Business and Facebook, they're the two primary platforms that I would focus on. And getting your customers that you currently have, get them involved in your marketing. That's really important. When it comes to keeping yourself out of the business, it's not a bad idea, because at the end of the day, you'll be able to create a business that can sell. So for example, my personal training business was very much me. My health, wellness and fitness business became a brand. I was able to sell that. It was easy enough to sell that, which was awesome. But your point of difference, I love that you actually saw that part. Like, what parts can you share? And for me, it's about education, because I've got a really bad back, so I love back stuff. And it's about education, because what you're offering is an alternative to chiropractic, which is, you know, obviously a more sort of aggressive way of doing things. I see my chiropractor, I love him. But for you, it would just be around education about the why and the how, and just using your current clients involved in your marketing. That doesn't mean sharing them. If you've got very public ones, you can share them, but if you don't, that's okay. You can still tell stories about Mary and John and how they felt before and how they felt afterwards. But don't forget the statistics, because we have to satisfy the left brain people. So left brain people need statistics on social media as well.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, brilliant tips there. Absolutely. And if you think of something like Jim's Mowing or Colonel Sanders, like, you've got faces there, but they're not running the businesses, right? So however, people can relate to those sort of images. So it might be something to think of there too. And I'm also thinking, you know, like, Facebook groups are really powerful now, right? Facebook groups really powerful. And also LinkedIn is very powerful. And I would say there'd be a lot of people with spinal issues in business, right? They're leaning over computers all day. That also would be a great market to tap into there. I'd recommend, Angela. So
I have to say this, LinkedIn and Facebook strategy, worlds apart. What you do on Facebook,
yes,
completely 100% different to what you do on Instagram, on what you do on LinkedIn. Instagram and Facebook's a little bit more similar. There's a lot more similarities. Facebook and LinkedIn, completely different. So if you're trying to take a strategy that's on Facebook and going onto LinkedIn, it will not work. And rather get one thing right.
Yes,
LinkedIn is completely different.
Yes, and you know, Facebook and LinkedIn aren't friends, right? Facebook owns Instagram. Facebook works much better with YouTube. LinkedIn works much better with YouTube, right? So that's another interesting thing. So, you know, sharing links from one platform to the other, you've got to be very careful with that kind of thing too, because you won't get as much engagement if you're sharing, say, a YouTube link on Facebook as you will if you share it on LinkedIn, for example. So yeah, lots of different things to consider, but just one thing at a time, Angela. Thank you so much for sharing that. Awesome. Thank you, Chantal, for those great tips. Anyone else want to share? What did you get out of today? Ahas before we wrap up?
Yeah, look, I would like to just say that the one strategy rather than 5 strategies, because when I did business consulting, I basically spoke to people about 2 major things: the conversion equation, which is the old ADAC principle. A lot of people, when they market, they tend to try and market like the big boys. You can't market like the big boys because they use slogans. They use things that brainwash you every day. So you've got to go back to the old style of marketing, which is attention, interest, desire, action, close, or the conversion equation, which helps you get the person's attention. So different formulas. And for me, I was working on a 5-step profit formula. And the 5-step profit formula is what I actually marketed and sold. And if you focus on that 5 steps by just improving 5 areas in your business by 10%, your profit should double within 6 months. Just 10% increase. And as a result of that, I was been working on 3 or 4 strategies. But to get all 3 or 4 major strategies right can take you 2 or 3 years. So I loved the way you came across and said, get one right first. And when I say, you know, 5 strategies, to improve 5 strategies by 10%, that's not hard. That's not too difficult. And when I say that to people, they actually fall off their chair when they hear that their profits will double just by 10% increase or improvement as such. But I love the 1 step or the 1 strategy. I'll focus on that and get one right, because I'm using so many: Google, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. I love LinkedIn, by the way, but LinkedIn's more for businesses, where I've now changed towards children and targeting maybe moms and dads towards children. My attention should go there. So thanks for that feedback. That stood out for me.
Yeah, Yeah, that's gold. And, you know, guys are really good at focusing on one thing at a time. You know, women, we're designed to have 5 to 6 children, and that's why we're good at focusing on 5 to 6 things at once, right? That's what they say about women. So they say we can multitask. However, as you say, you know, just a slight little tweak can make all the difference. And focusing on one thing, it is very, very powerful. One thing at a time. You can always go to the next thing later. One thing at a time is very powerful. It just can be more challenging for women in general, right?
Well, I've actually learned that multitasking is not good for you. So I've had to learn not to multitask. So I block out things in my diary, and now I don't multitask anymore. I try and stick to my one thing at a time, especially when I had the 2 businesses. Here's another trick. If you've got more than one business, never work on the same business on the same day. It's very difficult for the brain. I always worked on my businesses. And if you've got multiple strategies, work on them on different days, and rather block out. A lot of people will block out 20 minutes. You need to block out at least an hour to 2 hours and follow it through right to the end. Too many people are doing 20 minutes here, 20 minutes here, 20 minutes here, 20 minutes here, 2 minutes, and it's just too unproductive. It hurts the brain.
Yes, love that. And you can set timers, you know, the Pomodoro technique, I think they call it, you know, 15-minute timers, and then move around, etc. But yeah, keeping the focus is really powerful. And some people do sort of 90-minute slots, so whatever works for you, but definitely focused attention. Turn the phones off, turn the notifications off, so you can focus on whatever the task is at hand. Brilliant, brilliant. Any other final comments before we wrap up? Remember to save the chat. Save the chat. So in the chat section there, if you just go to where you can make a comment, the 3 dots on the right there has the save chat option. You can save the chat from today. Please pop your links over to Facebook as well. Any other links or comments you want to put over there, let us know your ahas, questions over there. Thank you so much, Chantal. Amazing content. I could listen to you all day. So good. Slava, anything else you want to say before we wrap up?
Thank you to both of you. It's so good. I used to be sort of like a junkie for stuff like this. You know, was addicted to learning, but never really properly committed myself to applying. Yes. I am now. Yeah.
Yeah, got it. And
one thing, I'll get that one thing right. Yeah.
Well, we never learn less, right? You never learn less. And if you just do one thing from today, at least just one thing, take action, then that's fantastic. And of course you can go back and get the gems through, follow through. Yes, Chantal, follow through. Absolutely. And thank you so much. And thank you to our generous prize donors as well. Everyone's a winner, baby. Thank you so much for today. Lots of love to you.
Thank you.
Please stay connected. You're not alone out there in this business journey. There's great support for you. So look forward to seeing you again soon. Lots of love, and reach out if you want any extra support. Thank you so much. Bye. See you. Bye.